Hello, everybody. It's Heist Day. It's Heist Day at long last here in Cyberpunk. I'm Jonathan, your game master, as always, pronouns he, any. And we have been, waiting for this one. Of course, we've had very crucial lore developing side missions, but it is time. It is time. We'll talk a little bit more about that in the once we get to the recap, sort of our goals for the night with this heist. But in the meantime, let's do our round of introductions. Fun fact for me, I have never been a speedrunner. I've not speedrun a game before, but very recently a newer friend of mine goes a streamer slash speedrunner goes under the name Ruby Heart. You can find them on Twitch. They're fantastic, and gave me some pointers on speedrunning Titan Souls, which is a Shadow of the Colossus is their game of choice, but also they love boss rush games, which Titan Souls is one of those. Think 2D pixel art Shadow of the Colossus. And there are 19 bosses in the game. You don't have to beat all of them to beat the game, but there are 19 bosses total. And I now can 100% all boss that game in... My fastest time was 24 minutes and 43 seconds after one day of practice. So, yeah, it's a very fun game, and they're a very good coach. So check them out. They're also involved in SGDQ, Summer Games Done Quick, this week on very, very, very early or late, depending on your definition. On Tuesday, they're part of a Overcooked 2 speedrun. So yeah, check them out, Ruby Heart. Let's do those introductions, throwing it over to Lee. Oh, kitty.
Sorry, my cat has decided right now is the perfect time to be super needy, which he's not normally. Normally, he kind of just sits in a corner and stares at me. But anyway, hi, I'm Lee, and my pronouns are she, her, and I am playing Beau Delarue. His pronouns are he or any. And fun fact about me is the show that I've mentioned before, Something Rotten, opened this last weekend, and it was preceded by 2 weeks of tech rehearsals, which just means I went from work to rehearsal every single day for 2 weeks. And the sunglasses today are not just cosplay, they're for my benefit because I look super tired, and I am. I'm going to try to keep the energy up. Brain, no thoughts, brain. I'm a himbo today, truly. No thoughts, brain.
You're just very in character.
Yeah.
Hey, the cyberpunk world, everything's full of late nights and neon lights, so I think you're, more in character than ever. I think that sunglasses are, more than fashion in this world. Popping over to Matthew.
Hello, my name is Matthew, he, him. I am playing Sehr Stylish, aka Opera. And I guess my fun fact is true to form as the Katamari Damacy of incredibly nerdy interests that I am. I've been getting back into classical music as just something to keep me going when I'm running. And my favorite opera in the entire world is not based on a play. It's not based on a book or a movie or anything exciting like that. It is based on a series of 18th century woodcuts. That is how metal I am when it comes to my opera tastes.
Or it is wooden? Yeah.
It is called The Rake's Progress, and it is a delightful opera by Igor Stravinsky, composed 1951, that I would highly recommend. It's in English if anybody's interested. It's on the shorter side relative to operas, meaning it's about 2 hours. And it's a hoot. A tenor accidentally makes a deal with the devil and ends up just totally screwing up his whole life. And the real hero is his soprano love interest, who does everything in her power to try and stop him from messing everything up.
Yeah, that all tracks. Gotta say, was not expecting woodwork as the source there. That is
literally,
a very fun
it is
fact.
A series of paintings that just show a fancy guy getting progressively more debauched, and Igor Stravinsky looked at that 200 years later and said, that is what I want to write my opera about.
Right there. This guy knows what he's doing, or this person knows what they're doing. Love it. I I will have to check that out.
Hey,
Angela.
babe, wake up. I just found the new sound. Like,
You know that new
Just
sound you were
quickly
looking
tapping
for?
on a telegram, being like, you've got to listen to this.
Listen to
Well,
this.
okay, I'm just going to tap in the rhythm of the music.
Oh my goodness. Yes. Stravinsky.
The first viral video.
Well, listen to this. Love it. On that note, Angela.
Hey, I am Angela, she, her. Currently playing Tara Trilby, aka Patch, also she, her. Let's see, fun fact, I have never actually partaken in a heist before, so this should be fun.
Wait, Angela hasn't or Patch hasn't?
Yes.
Okay.
We're gonna,
As
I'll leave that up
yes,
to your imagination.
to any official sources watching, yes, Angela has never participated in a heist.
Can neither confirm nor deny.
Very good. And last but not least, we've got Ashley. Oh, can't hear you. Ooh, yeah. Just one moment. Yes, to those in the audience, we had a little bit of delayed start with some technical issues, having some AV trouble on Ashley's side. No worries, technology does fun things sometimes.
And I
Only
prepared a
sometimes.
longer talk on 18th century woodcuts, just in case.
Oh no.
Let me take you back to the 1500s.
Oh no, Matthew's breaking up too.
Oh, no.
Oh no.
All right, I shall also try refreshing.
Oh,
no,
Oh,
I thought you were
I was.
doing a joke.
Yeah,
It
I
was
was
a joke,
absolutely
yeah.
joking, Matthew. I'm sorry. Maybe that wasn't the time. Or maybe leading to that. We'll never know. All right,
We'll never
Ashley, let's see what we got.
You got to make the fake, like the you're breaking up noises.
Oh,
I'm going through
yeah.
a tunnel.
Yeah, do
We can- we
yeah,
can see you.
just can't really.
Wow.
Oh, sorry.
nice.
Unfortunately,
go.
Ashley, I still cannot hear you.
For real, bro.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right, keep talking.
We good? Are we good?
Yeah, there's a delay, but we can hear you. That's progress.
I'm not sure why the delay, but I'm
Yeah.
trying a different
I'm not getting.
thing. Hopefully
Yeah,
it'll be more
sounds good to me now.
consistent.
Yeah, I'm not getting any delay
Okay.
really.
All right, it seems to
Okay.
be lining up more. Okay. Yep, forge ahead.
All right. Well, it's not Cyberpunk without technical difficulties, right?
Exactly. Yes, we've seen plenty of evidence on this stream that sometimes, bleeds into real life. Mhm.
All right. Well, I'm Ashley, she, her, playing Pixie Margot. And my fun fact is I may have agreed to run a one-shot today.
Hey.
So
Okay.
there's that. That's potentially coming. Yeah.
Awesome.
That is exciting. What game system?
I don't know. So I was talking with our mutual friend Lance and Karen today,
Mhm.
and we convinced Lance to maybe do a one shot and try out D&D for the first time. So
Okay.
we'll see. Yeah.
So probable D&D. I mean, that's the classic entry point. It was my entry point with 3.5. So yeah,
Yeah.
Matthew was around for plenty of that era as well. So that's very exciting. Yes, bring
Yeah,
more
Lance wants-
people in.
Yeah. Lance wants to play a barbarian and smash things, so we'll see what
Absolutely.
we can do.
Yeah, the first one shot is free after that. Excellent. So, with all those facts, fun. Oh, I was gonna have a pithy remark, but no, my brain is full on in heist mode. Pithy remarks can wait for later. Let's get a little bit of setup music for the recap and leading us into the heist itself. I'm actually going to switch things up a bit. I'm going to talk mention something briefly about the structure of this episode before leaning in, before going into the recap, so we can just keep this momentum as much as possible. So, this is a heist episode. Cyberpunk RED can have a fair amount of crunch and granularity to it, but we're going to borrow a little bit from the best heist movie styles. So we're going to sort of elaborate our overall plan, the general arc, as far as any like details, complications, things that pop up in the moment. We are going to potentially have either flashbacks or details that we will decide in the moment. Like in those heist movies like, say, Ocean's 11, Italian Job, where you get sort of those details of the plan while you're watching it actually happen on screen. That is the sort of the vibe that we're going for here. Because if we already kind of put one foot into that trap in a previous episode when we were talking about the heist in general, but if we sink all of our time into planning every bit of this heist and then doing it, it's probably going to be August by the time that it actually happens. So I'm going to do my best to keep things trucking. I will say for our team, no need to feel rushed. If we need to step on the gas pedal a little bit, I will handle that. But otherwise, yeah, let's just keep this flowing smoothly. Barring sort of a little bit of, not the mechanics, but the concept of the Blades in Dark system, or Forged in the Dark, if you're fancy, in that it's all a heist system. Like Blades in Dark, you're a team, you pull heist, that's what you do. But yeah, you go and then you have flashbacks, you figure things out in the moment. You don't spend all of your sessions planning ahead of time. Might borrow other things like, say, clocks. I've done that before in this series, but might borrow some light mechanics from that game system, just a little bit, but mostly the concept. So that is what our takeaway here. That being said, let's get into the recap. So last time on Cyberpunk RED, Cyberpunk with a Q, we got to finish our side mission, kind of figuring out this strange signal that was piggybacking on the Scream Sheet broadcasts that were going to everybody's agents in Echo Center. You had gotten some location data, in addition to picking up a new friend, of course, Jacobot. Using Jacobot a little bit as assistant to parse through this data. In addition to some weird sort of brain dance, real strange technology that you found at an abandoned movie theater, you followed this location data that you had gotten before the rest of the program deleted itself to the beach, to the Technohemian community where Opera resides. Based on a strong hunch, even though we had the data was not that precise, based on a hunch, you went over to Comet's place, and Comet being one of the other Technohemians who had previously tried to recruit Opera into the Emissaries of Tomorrow, the faction that's getting a lot of support, a lot of attention around these days, and it's all totally fine and not at all sketchy. Why do you ask? Went into this house. Everything seems mostly fine, but then you discovered a secret entrance into a basement. The basement there was, again, going into that basement, you found a heavy door, this sort of like bunker door. Guarding that door, it turned out, were a couple of spider drones, security spider drones. You fought one of them off handily. The other one gave you a little bit of a run for your money. People were hurt very badly by being hit with this spider drone, but eventually, even after taking some big knocks on the chin, you were able to disable that spider drone. Then able to open this sort of bunker vault door in front of you, you discovered a wealth of paraphernalia that was tied to the Emissaries of Tomorrow. In addition, you found that this did appear to be where the broadcasts were originating from. In addition to that, two things of note. You did find an old letter. An old letter that seemed to be addressed, if not to Comet, at least to the emissaries of tomorrow from one of its own members. You can go back to the VOD if you want to take a look at it. It's toward the latter end, but the overall message is that they were, there is some concern, even within these new members, about this new direction that they are going. Their whole point is to sort of warn people. They used to be doomsayers, but yeah, there is some concerns within the ranks, even as they get more popular and more powerful. The other thing that that the team discovered down there was a data chip. Looked like a braindance chip. Checked it out. And two things were odd about it. One, it was labeled track and field, and it was, at least by Cyberpunk standards, very, very old track and field. By us player standards, it's like modern. If you went out to a track and field meet today, that's kind of like what the vibe was there in the stadium. But for Cyberpunk, that was maybe a couple hundred years ago. And brain dances are usually made by recording firsthand experiences. They did not exist back then. So that was odd, being able to like create an artificial experience. And the other thing that certainly became apparent soon, Opera having trying out this brain dance. Normally, brain dance sort of more sophisticated VR where you experience the thing, but you're not actually moving. As Opera went to do the hammer throw, picked something up and actually started swinging around in real life and nearly endangering the rest of the team. Thankfully, nothing major was broken or, well, maybe some common stuff, but who cares? The team was safe through this. But it is very concerning that these emissaries of tomorrow seem to be fiddling with technology that Opera was not aware of his surroundings at the time. So if you had the right kind of brain dance, you had something that may or may not equate to a certain amount of mind control, or at least mind duplicity, if not direct control. In any case, that is the information you got. You're able to recover that technology, make your way out, and the entire time there was no sign of Comet. So unknown where they are at this moment. But in any case, that was bled into Sunday. And Monday, tomorrow, is the day in which you're able to secure a visit with Pixie's family. And Friday is the day of the execution, the public execution of the Margot family. That's our recap. So, first thing I want to do, I do want to hit those two scenes. I want to have some kind of scene, visiting the family, and then, of course, the actual heist itself. So, in order to grease the wheels here, Pixie, in preparation for this meeting with your family, is there anything that either you, or I suppose the rest of the team, I'll open it up, but are there any precautions, things that you would like to do beforehand? Major things, I would say, that will come up in this scene. Nope. Okay. In that case, not hearing anything, so I'm trying to juggle all these windows here. I'm actually going to stick that over here so I can see everybody. And also to make sure that, if Ashley's speaking, that I can actually hear her.
I don't think it'll be a preparation thing, but
cool.
I think we all agreed beforehand that Patch was going to, like, during the family visit or at some point grab like samples from them, DNA samples,
cool,
that we'd be using in the heist itself. So
gotcha. And yes, so that's misspoke a moment ago. I know I said like all the details and preparations we can handle in a moment. So I guess, yeah, just general plans. As far as like execution of things, maybe not we get there, but yeah. So it is a goal. Let's talk goals. That I think is a better way to frame it. A goal, if you can pull it off, is to get a DNA sample of the family for potential use in the heist. Great. Oh, and lest we forget, one also very important. Excuse me. Give me 2 seconds here. We'll see if I can. I almost forgot to redo the rewards for this thing. Mark's complete. Cool. Change for computer settings. Can I just redo that? It won't let me. Okay. I almost forgot a very important thing that happened last time is we fulfilled another iteration of the community challenge of changing friend computers settings. So rather than Valley Girl, capitalized URL, now we have sorry, that not sure what that.
Got the Duke of Wellington, haha, and he will go along with you in this journey into the belly of the beast, haha.
So that's our new friend computer. Make sure that there we go. So we've got our new community challenge, as always, to have that there, as well as make sure that all of our other rewards also make it into the mix here. That was one thing that I forgot to do, and we are, where's the reroll button? There it is. Okay, everything else looks like it is in order. Very good. Good to go. I believe we should be set there. Roll the dice. Yep. Cool. All right, we're set. Sorry about that. Back into. So yeah, goal to get the DNA, and you got the new friend computer. Chum computer? Nah. Work on it. I still like Duke of Wellington. So, this Monday arrives. You are able to confirm the appointment is still on. You head over to the security force tower, which is like the largest, most prominent, most well-fortified building in the entirety of Echo Center. You are allowed inside. There are still massive protests. In fact, the protests seem to have increased since you were here last, as word continues to get around about this, the Margot family kind of being made an example of. You might imagine some of the city does not take kindly to that, especially people who had grown up or are familiar with the magic shows. Seems a little bit harsh. And because that was not long ago in the grand scheme of things. It's like a couple of weeks ago at this point that they were initially arrested. So it's still a pretty fresh memory. You are able to get inside. You're able to get past the barricade. Who all is coming along on this journey here? Patch, you said you were getting some DNA. Is full team there or nah?
I believe the original plan was for us to stick together so we don't split the party, but that most everyone would be in some sort of disguise or covering themselves up so that we don't, except for myself, because I used my connections to kind of get the visit to happen, but everybody else would be in some sort of disguise so that it wouldn't come back to us later, or at least not come back to you guys later when stuff goes down.
Okay.
And the other goal we had was the two goals I had written down was, yes, the DNA samples, and obviously to, in a discreet way, alert them of the escape plan.
Cool. I like it. So, Then with that, actually, let's move over to this one in case we end up needing to make any rolls, but it should be fine. So yeah, you're led past the barricade. You then get into the lobby there that you were in not too long ago, and your escort is there. That is going to be. I should probably consolidate my notes rather than having him. Captain Weston, yes. Zen. Yeah, Weston was the kind of douchey one. Zen was the one that was okay that you got on the phone. Yeah, I think unfortunately Weston seems to be running this particular visit here today. So as you step forward, you see, well, here we are, ready for this visit. Not sure exactly who you managed to talk to pull this off, but, well, not my decision. In any case, you're going to be led to our, of course, secure facility. Unfortunately, well, sorry, I spoke out of character. He wouldn't say unfortunately. So, as is per protocol, you will need to surrender any and all devices before heading down there. And has one of the other uniform officers like step forward with a bin to put like your agent, because of like this very secure nature of where they're being held. It seems as if you're not going to be able to go with anything on you.
Can I use my conceal reveal object to keep my stuff, or attempt to anyway?
Yes, I was about to say, unless you try and sneak it through, smuggle it through. Yeah, sure. So you can try and conceal reveal object. What are you trying to keep on you?
Actually, well, it's a skill I have. I felt like I needed to use it. I honestly don't really have anything that I'm too concerned about keeping. Okay. But just for fun, let's say I try to keep my my agent, so that I can well, also presumably some sort of paper that we have that I want to, let's say, like, with stuff written on it that we're maybe trying to pass off to the family with instructions or something on it.
Sure.
Let's see just for shits and gigs.
Okay. So you want to conceal your agent and this piece of paper. Let's just do and
it can just be the sheet of paper to keep it simple.
Okay. Anyone else trying to smuggle any objects?
What does Patch need to get DNA?
That's actually a very good question. I was going to ask that myself.
I'd say depends on kind of what DNA you're going for. If you want like fluids, you need some sort of swab, and probably some sort of vial. Otherwise, like a hair would do it. It just depends on like what you're looking for.
Things that we need to get from them versus something we would have to sneak in.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, because what we're doing for the heist.
But if it needs some sort of container.
That was the question, yeah.
Ziploc baggie.
Yeah. I'd say it's like something as small as like a little, spit vial or the little things, say, that you use to take COVID tests or whatever. That I'm not concerned about. If you like, yeah, something that small, I'm not going to worry about smuggling in. Basically anything that would get you in trouble or incriminate you, I'm going to ask for a roll. So that piece of paper, yes. An agent, hypothetically, yes. Swab kit, you're a medtech. Seems fine enough, or at least they would not care if you just kept that on you. Cool. All right, so that is a 20.
Conceal reveal.
Okay. You managed to keep this note on you. I haven't actually seen the movie, but I just got the image of like the whole ridiculous "Now You See Me" scene where they're passing the card back and forth across the room as they're being searched. In any well, maybe if you'd crit, it would have been like that. But 20, and with this perception here, 2 plus something, but they don't have a plus 19 to their roll. So you are in fact able to have the plan on the piece of paper. Very good. And yeah, I would say keep the swab there. Cool. Great. Then with all of that, you divest yourself of all your obvious weaponry and agents, and you are then led down the hallway. You come to a pretty gnarly looking freight elevator, and you descend downward. When it finally dings, let's change up the music here. So you walk through this hallway. There is this sort of secondary antechamber here, like another security stop for something this highly isolated, contained. The information that you got on the phone before is this is where they ostensibly can contain cyberpsychosis, people who have succumbed to cyberpsychosis, which are among the most dangerous threats that you can come across. And so yeah, they have spared no expense here. Another secondary thing, and you see this hallway beyond. There are a couple of gates there, and you can like just make out the start of some cell doors, and it's here that security steps up again and holds up a hand. Look. No, we already searched you, but gotta stick to protocol. 1 visitor at a time, if you don't mind. And you see like cameras and guards pretty heavily posted down here. You know that your family is not exactly a threat level, a threat equivalent to someone who has succumbed to cyberpsychosis. But to make a show of things, not to mention sort of the unrest going outside, does kind of track that they are really tight on security here. Pixie, I presume that you would like to go first? Okay. Leads you down the hallway. I've got a screen for this. There we go. So, down this very sterile hallway here, I'm also going to bring everybody over to this screen. Should all be able to see it since I didn't turn on dynamic lighting. But very like sterile environment. It almost feels like a hospital or an asylum of some sort. But you do see through these sort of very thick, clearly very thick plexiglass reinforced cell walls, so everything is quite visible. You see members of your family along the way who they're each kept separate, and you can see they sort of like take notice as you walk by, people perking up. So sometimes you like even a wave. They don't look as if they've been like tortured exactly. They look a little disheveled, probably have not been allowed to shower. You see a sort of airlock system that can clearly deliver food. They look like a little on the thinner side, so they may not feed them a lot, but they don't look like they're about to like die or anything. Just full-on ISO chambers here, until eventually you come to the door that has Minna in there. and there is like a little intercom system that they activate so that you can communicate. She looks up. She wouldn't have any sunglasses on. Sure. For at least character differentiation's sake. These are... Sure. Go with these. Well, if you're not a sight for sore eyes, how you doing? Oh no, I can't hear you again. I'm sorry. It's frustrating.
Also, Jonathan, I am not able to see anything on the Forge page because it says I don't have a token or something.
Yeah, it says
I
don't have a token that can see.
Okay, well then let's do this.
Am I back? Can you hear me?
Yes.
I do not know what is going on.
And let's just throw some... global illumination. Perfect. At least I thought.
So I see my token. I just still only see black behind it.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
Same.
Oh, there we go.
There we go. Just uncheck
I
the
can
box.
see.
Sweet. Thought I had the thing checked, but no worries. I have to remember that this is not Roll20, where here in Foundry, dynamic lighting is turned on by default, not off. So that one's on me. In any case, so yeah, this is the sort of sterile environment that you are all in. Obviously, as I mentioned, you are not actually here together, but tokens for visibility. It's more a little more visual for theater of the mind. So yeah, you see Minna there.
Sorry.
Oh, and I see that some people still have damage. So here in the background while we're chatting, feel free to rest up and give yourself your hit points back. Okay. Yeah. What?
I'm a little surprised that you're happy to see me, given that I'm the one who put you here.
Right. Unless Jonathan is misinterpreting this is like a kind of a cover here while the cops are listening, which they very much are listening, like they are close by.
Pixie does feel responsible for what happened, like because the deal went bad because of her.
Oh, okay.
And it landed them in prison.
Gotcha.
Just a brief reminder that we're posing as stakeholders in the Neon Garden. So like you may have to.
Oh, so I have to.
You might have to talk to them.
Okay, that's right. Yeah, so Bo is not in disguise because that makes sense. But yeah, Pixie,
But
if
the
you
rest
are,
of us are okay.
Yeah, if you're in disguise, so then let's also. We don't need to spend too much time on it. Yeah, retcon, but like what at least is the excuse then? I guess you're already here. You're already in disguise. I'm not going to like make that a role, but so like what is your cover story here, Bo? Like why are these investors here?
The cover story was that these stakeholders had found out the news that they were huge fans of the performers and were devastated by the news and wanted to have one final conversation with and they play an important role in the Neon Garden, so that's why.
Perfect. Okay, then in that case, what instead I'm going to do is I'm not going to make you roll. None of you roll for like disguising past the police, but actually, what we'll have Pixie go ahead and roll. I think there is a disguise skill. I want to say. Oh,
There's an acting skill.
Is that something I could have assisted them with my fashion and all that stuff that I have?
yeah, absolutely. Bo, as well versed as you are in keeping things kind of under wraps, incognito, especially when it comes to identity, that makes a lot of sense to me. In which case, yes, here we go. Acting, bribery, interrogation, wardrobe style. Yeah, let's go with acting. I like that.
Oh boy. Here we go.
Hey, so on a crit there, an
All right.
18. Then at least at first, Minna does not recognize you. Minna knows you pretty well. I'd say if you had rolled less well, she would have seen right through your disguise. But with an 18, let's quickly retcon. What? Who? See, like, just instantly suspicious of this person who has come up to her cell. What do you want? You look like another one of those idiots from up above. Look, if you're looking to rub salt in the wound, what do you want?
No salt here. You could say I'm one of your biggest fans. I'll give her a week.
Is that so? Well, glad then that we could provide some entertainment. What can I do for you then?
Well, we were hoping to get a little one-on-one time before, the big show. Maybe
Right.
chat. Maybe, get a few secrets. Tell me a little bit about, how you did your tricks.
Okay. The 9 on the die. I'd say she hasn't pierced your disguise yet, but you see her eyes narrow just like a little bit as she picks up that kind of like you're insinuating some things like, So she nods. I see. Trying to keep the magic alive, as it were. Sure. We can chat.
Magic never dies, right?
Right. I think with that... Yeah, given her scenario, again, like, knows that something is up, but, is leaning in. Right then. So
And I think Pixie would probably be doing a lot with her body language in subtle ways to convey that she is a friend and that she is who she is.
Perfect.
Without giving it away to the guards.
Okay. Then, in fact, we can interpret that 18 as a... You fooled Minna at first, but then, with this sort of... settle, she knows you very well, kind of how to tip her off. So then, for just a moment, you see like an eyebrow twitch. She looks at you, just a little hint of a smile. Well, yes, it is much about that. Can't have whatever happens to us. Gotta keep the magic going. So, is there a particular, say, trick or act you were interested in?
Do you remember that, like, disappearing act that you did, I don't know, a few years ago? And you made everyone on stage vanish.
I do recall that trick, yes.
That one was particularly interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I would kill to see something like that again.
It was definitely one of our most exciting acts, yes.
Yeah.
Sure.
I wonder if there could be a little bit more flair, though.
Was that so? Flair for the dramatic. I see. Well, nothing wrong with tweaking an act as times evolve. What you what exactly do you have in mind there?
I don't know. I mean, there's really no point in even discussing it, considering y'all are in here and
Right.
you're not going to put on another show. But
That's a fair point. So if there's anything like specific you would like to say to Minna, by all means. But sort of in general, I see two avenues here. One, you can. It will be kind of difficult, but you could potentially try and slip this paper to Minna, just with all the security in place here. Or you could play some slight cover ball. So normally the conversation skill is one that you use to like pick up information without the other person knowing. This is kind of an offshoot of that, where you are exchanging crucial information about these details without the guards picking up on it. So I would say that if you want to try and just verbalize it, you can go with a conversation check. Otherwise, getting the paper to them, again, the details, unless you want to provide them, aren't crucial. But that would be keep looking in the book for skills when easier to use.
What all did we have on that piece of paper that we were going to convey?
You tell me. I think it was at least partially Bo's idea, so maybe they've got some input. But what did we want to be on this paper?
Basically, it just says like, I'm trying to think of a way to put it that it wouldn't be like obvious in case somebody had read it, but like, I'll say it's in a form of like a fortune cookie fortune, maybe, and just pass it on as like kind of a sign of like, do the quick like sleight of hand into their hand when you shake hands.
Sure.
But it says in some sort of like, fortune telly language that's like, be wary of, or surprises are in your future, stay calm, go with the plan.
Okay. So not the details, but just sort of like letting them know that something's up, something's going to happen.
Down.
Okay.
Don't worry.
Yeah, I think
you
that is.
You said there was like plexiglass and stuff between us?
Yeah, like these are the ISO chambers,
so
which is
it would
tough.
be kind of hard to do a handoff, right?
Yes, it would.
Is there a vent or anything?
There is sort of this airlock sort of thing that they clearly use to feed them and stuff like that. Yeah. I would say that.
No worries, not that big of a deal. We'll be fine.
Yeah.
How are we gonna get the DNA samples though?
And that's what my next question was going to be.
That's a good question.
I had actually wondered, like, when Patch's turn came up, if this is, like you said, the ISO chambers, or at least medical in nature, is this kind of an environment she would have known before? And would she be familiar with any of its, what's the word I'm looking for, weaknesses?
Yeah, in fact, yes. Like, this is high security prison thing going on, but yeah, there is enough similarity with like sterile chambers. The base of this map may or may not have been just a hospital wing. Yeah, I would say that you would know some exploits here. They may be, I'm going to say you can make either a concentration or perception check. Patch, I will give you advantage. If this were just a pure medical facility, no roll needed, but here, since it's adjacent but not exact, I do want to roll from you.
Okay. I don't want to use luck so early, but at the same time, this is kind of crucial.
Yeah. I mean, you don't have to use all of it. You can just use some. Up to you.
Yeah, I think I'm going to use some of it. I'm gonna go with perception. It's pretty much the same either way, so.
Okay. 14.
Oh, I don't know how to do advantage on this.
Oh, that's right. Just roll again, but don't click luck.
Okay.
Okay, so with 4 then on top of that for luck, that's going to be a dirty 20. With a dirty 20, yes, there is... you do know of one good exploit, and it is in fact that sort of food transfer airlock. It is not really possible to just like pass something all the way through all at once. It's not designed for that, but there is just like a little seam, a little crack there that you could potentially like slip something in or out, and then that would be then the other side would just like have to open and get it up. Might have to be a little bit, especially if you were to pull out some of their DNA, that would be, I think, the hardest thing to pull off, but it's possible. You are able to share this information with the party, so you know that exploit. It is going to be easier to get something in than out, but you've got an in, as it were. Cool. So you've got that. Yeah. As far as I'm going to leave it up to whomst ever. I think sleight of hand is still a thing in this system, right? Sorry, I've been playing and reading and researching a few different game systems lately, so I apologize if this particular game's skill set kind of sometimes escapes me. Dexterity, that's what we want. No stealth?
I believe sleight of hand falls under conceal reveal object, I think.
Yeah, I would say then, yeah, stealth or conceal reveal object could be used to either like put something into that little airlock or try and slip it out. It's going to be easier DV to get it in, harder DV to like try and like open it up and like pull something out without being immediately clocked by the security, but it's possible.
If that's the case, Patch would probably try and ask one of the others.
Cool. That is totally fine. Since if those who would like to can one by one visit the cell, so you can, you know, pick where your strong suit is. I would say, especially Pixie, you having kicked things off here, sort of tipped off Mena that something's up. She's going to be receptive, I think, to the rest of the gang, even though she does not know them. Certainly not in disguise. She would know Bo, but Patch and Opera in disguise, not a chance. Maybe not even out of disguise. I forget what we had established before. But in any case, so yeah, there's... so a conceal reveal object or stealth check for DNA sample, and a conversation from somebody to try and get them on the same page and ready for this plan.
I have a thought.
Mm-hmm.
It's Officer Weston with us, right?
Yeah.
He was the one that was receptive to a bribe earlier in one of the early games, I think, or I don't.
You tried to bribe. Yeah, I know we've talked to a few different people. Zen, Captain Zen is the one you spoke to before, who accepted the bribe and got you this meeting. I believe you tried to bribe Weston, but you got no response after that.
Okay.
Out of character, I will just tell you, it was not. Unfortunately, it was not a successful bribe. But he seems a bit more of a stickler than some of the other people.
Okay. My thought was, and if there's any way to maybe do a variation of this, let me know, is to kind of kill two birds with one stone is if there's some way that I could either bribe and or convince him to let one of them go, like, or me even go in and have, like, since we know they're going to be executed, go in and like have a hug or like a physical like a handshake, an interaction, even if it's a handshake through the feeding thing, airlock, like something that like maybe with the argument that they're extremely important stakeholders and that they'll make a donation as well to the security force if they can do this, and that donation can come from my money pool if needed.
Okay. Yeah. I think because he tries to stick to protocol, but since he's aware that they're not actually dangerous, yeah, I would allow a bribery roll here.
I'm gonna add some luck to it. Just add the one for now.
And
I have a potential backup plan if it doesn't work.
And how much money are you pumping in here, by the way?
However much I got.
How much money do you have?
That's a great question. I will tell you in 1 second.
Cool.
Well, I'll say I have currently listed 900 euro bucks. So
okay.
I don't fully remember what that means.
That's
but I'll say like that seems like a lot. So I would say maybe like, is 500 a lot?
500 is 500. I think would be about like the minimum for a bribe of this nature. Also, because you weren't here last time, I think I may have neglected to mention, but at the end of last episode, with you were also able to get like valuable materials from Comet's stash. So you all ended up with, I believe I said 1,000 ebs each. So that was kind of like a little side job, side mission. So you actually have 1,900.
Oh, okay. In that case, then I guess it would be like 1,000.
If you're willing to burn 1,000, that will absolutely succeed. It's a lot of cash. Yeah.
What did I roll? I mean,
I got a 17.
17. Okay. Well, if an auto success, if 1,000 would make an auto success, then I would save the luck point. But
okay.
That is
absolutely something you can do. So go ahead and take that luck point back. Subtract. Well, I guess subtract or just don't add that 1,000. Yeah, don't add that 1,000 ebs. He looks over here, and in your line of business, you're able to sort of address this subtly, with all the other guards and cameras around. So he. All right. Look. Obviously, can't open the cell. Can't do like hugs or nothing, but fine. Some like hand contact through the food lock, sure. Just be quick about it, yeah. And
thank you so much for your empathy and kindness in this very difficult moment for all of us.
He just sort of like grunts in response to that. Cool. So, yeah, one of you is going to be able to get a little bit of like brief handshake contact. So I'm going to say no more roll needed to. I would say even. Let's just say you're able to convey this. Pixie, I think you would have been able to, with your body language, your acting, kind of indicate like maybe a little hair. Maybe there was like a similar sort of stunt or job that you have pulled in the past with your family where you kind of pulled something similar of like leaving behind bodies that weren't yours or like evidence that you had died, that sort of thing. This is probably not the first identity change that that your family, much less the nomads in general, have gone through with all the security force stuff. So, handshake achieved. You're able to slip the paper in, and I would say get in a little bit of a hair as well. I think it feels appropriate that Pixie has that moment there. Anything you'd like to say to Minna as you make this contact?
I'll just reach in and say, it was a good run, and it was an honor to see you work.
Yeah, that it was. Shame it's as her eyes flick to the guard. It's just a shame it has to come to an end so abruptly.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully you can carry things on and keep the center entertained.
I'll do my best.
All right. And with that, I'd say at this point we can always flash back if there is any other loud emergency vehicles driving by. Flashback if there's any other stuff you want to get accomplished here. But with that, I think there is a little bit of uneasiness from the other guards posted. There is at least sort of a nod and another grunt from Captain Weston, who silences them at least briefly. And then you are all escorted back up to the surface, back to the lobby, and outside the building. You wade once more through noisy crowds outside, and we'll keep this music for a little bit longer. Move back into the noisy crowds outside, back to your base of operations, Neon Garden. So that is Monday. The heist. Good time zone. Yes. Hello, Table of Horrors. Thank you for the raid last time as well. Glad to see you back. Yes. You make it back to the Neon Garden. The days pass. Probably some things occur, some preparations happen that maybe we will see the fruits of your labor at the time. But now it is time to gather in the square itself. Just gonna do this thing again real quick, make sure that is off. There we go. So you make your way over to the town square where not long ago, let's blow this up a little bit. There we go. Not long ago, just those few weeks, the Margot family was performing here when they got nabbed. There is already a crowd gathering. There are a lot of security forces, patrolling the streets, trying to keep everything in line. You even see a couple of airships, some small, I think hover helicopter size, a couple of sort of airships, gunships floating overhead, also keeping an eye on everything. We can talk a little bit about, who's in what position, what your goal is, but at least the visual that we get of this square. It is not empty, as this map might suggest, but there is this main stage up here. There is a very heavily armored vehicle standing by that has many forces surrounding it, presumably where the family is at this exact moment before they are marched out. There is also a not insignificant amount of protesters here. It is perhaps a little, they've got the barricades, the riot squad out, keeping everything in check as much as possible, but as much as the protests are going on here, just most people that you see you actually attending are protesting this execution, of course. I think it has, if not on the scream sheet, it certainly has leaked at this point that not only they've been found guilty, but execution. Yes, scream sheet broadcast earlier this week. It has now been made official that they are to be executed. They want that to be known to make an example of them. So as much as these riot squads could just absolutely deal with the angry protesters in front of them, you can also tell that they want people to be present to witness this. So with that being said, where are the four of you set up? What is your goal with whatever position you are in?
I can go over our quick notes from 3 sessions ago or whatever it was.
Actually, let's start there. Actually, I mentioned this before. Again, don't need all details, but goal-wise, signpost, milestones, overall heist arc. Yes, like what is the general plan? We'll say actually.
Like in character, I just imagine Bo like giving us a PowerPoint presentation.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we've got a PowerPoint. I'm actually going to move us to this screen momentarily while because I do in fact have a club map here. But yes, continue.
Yes, thank you for attending my TED Talk. All right, so here's the plan. Goals. We've already done the visitation with the family, got the DNA samples, alerted them that there is something that's going to go down and to not freak out. I was going to meet with Omen and set up, work with them to get pyrotechnics set up the night before. The pyrotechnics would burn themselves up so that nothing can be traced back to Bo with the Neon Garden. The pyrotechnics are there to hide the escape, which would be done with the assistance of I'm sorry, I always get all confused. Pixie and Patch, our van and vehicle guru, yes, to have the van escape vehicle ready behind the stage so that the pyrotechnics would hide them and allow them to get into the van unseen. Also dropping the DNA sample stuff so that they are presumed burned up and dead. And then Opera was going to ask Comet to coordinate with Embassies of Tomorrow and the Technohemians to help fill out the crowd and cause chaos when the explosions go off. To further...
Does that still seem like a reasonable possibility, considering that Comet has been tomorrow napped and whatnot? I mean, I'm sure I can. If we just want to keep things moving, I can scrape together, a dance troupe from, the lumpen, unmobilized members of the Technohemians.
Yeah, that works. And also just we can also rile up the protesters and whatever. I was going to be in a building nearby having, so that I'm not in the crowd since I'm recognizable, or at least more recognizable currently, to have everything set up so that the blackout of all power in the city block, including video screens, news cameras, lights, etc., would happen. And then lastly, we would leave behind flyers or something, would rain down to kind of point the blame towards the gainsaid. And this part is necessary so that the security forces don't punish the citizens of Echo Center for this kerfuffle.
Okay. So.
That's great.
So okay. So. Pyrotechnics, yes, pyrotechnics. From Omen. And sorry, what did you say was going to be your or I get you? Sorry, I shouldn't ask. So you also want to frame the gainsaid to try and get people off the hook. I have to stop myself from asking for details. So frame the game said.
Other goal was to so pyrotechnics goal being to hide the escape. Pixie was going to get coordinate with her team to get van and fuel for the escape. Disguise the van, whatever. We've got Patch on DNA drop, and we've got Opera on crowd coordination distraction, and then me on the pyrotechnics are happening the night before. So during the actual event, I will be up in a building nearby with the goal of total blackout.
Okay. So
pyrotechnics have to happen the night before because they have to be like buried under the stage or in the ground or whatever.
Okay. And then finally, so you want, you said you wanted to like blackout, cut the power. Got it.
Yes. And for the sake of speed, if we want to say like I got Omen and his crew to kind of do that part the night before, so we don't have, I mean, up to you, but
yeah. So like when you know when these things may or may not occur, we can have those like mini flashback scenes, whatever, like where we like that thing happens, like it is set up. Cool. Sorry, I was thinking it's like, yeah, it'll be fine to get this map set up while that's going on, but
did that all make, I was like, I tried to have like each person has one thing.
No, you are good. It was just a bad idea to try and set up a map while I need to be taking notes on the game plan here. But in any case,
what do you mean you can't do 100 things at once? I don't understand.
Yeah, not a full 100 things. Oh, well, I guess we got a little bit of a preview. I was doing in the whole dice section, but yes. So here is at least the club interior I have for at least some of the Neon Garden, along with sort of Beau's office here in the back. I would put everybody's tokens in here, but it's very cramped, and the size is not exactly right, and it's not something that I need to fix at this moment. And yeah, well, this is... well, it's already done. Okay, so that is the overall game plan. Love it. I think, yeah, let's talk position. So, Beau, you said you're going to be up on a rooftop nearby, getting ready to, in a position to cut the power. I think that, yeah, we can make it such that that position on the roof is where you can activate the pyrotechnics and or, like, cut the breaker or something. Okay. Cool. Opera. So some potential crowd rabble rousing. Got it. Where is Opera going to be?
Wherever I would need to be to have access to any kind of like electronics or devices that I might be able to generate further distractions or what might be necessary.
Cool. Makes sense to me then. Either
I don't know
like
if there's a DJ table. No, it would probably take a pretty extraordinary tech roll to produce something more unpleasant than a DJ.
Well, it's Cyberpunk, so the DJ probably is the table.
They would have an
there it is.
Execution DJ.
That's not
Execution DJ.
Yeah, lo-fi beats to chill and execute too. Awesome. Yeah, I would say that nearby with your net running thing. So net running in general, you find like consoles, basically these hub like data hubs that you're able to like hack in and infect things nearby. I would say that if not even the same rooftop that Beau is on, depends on if you want to stick together or split up, I would say that you could find a nearby enough console in order to accomplish what you're going for here. How that will shake out, of course, we will see. Patch, you've got your ready for the DNA drop to intimate that the Margos are actually dead rather than escaped. Where were you set up?
I'm not sure. I was looking at the map. I can only imagine She would have to be close to where the execution site would be. So once the distraction, I can talk, I promise. Once the distraction goes down, she can be right there to like drop it and go.
Okay. So yeah, amongst crowd,
that makes sense.
Makes total sense. That's what I thought, but wanted to confirm. So yeah, they're amongst the rabble rousers, ready to make the drop. Pixie, how about you?
I am somewhere near the execution with a getaway vehicle to shuttle our cargo.
Okay. So you are standing by with the vehicle ready. Very good. I guess there is one question that I will pose here before things kick off, and that is, did I change it to the, yes, I did change it to the right track. Good. Is the idea to, once the pyrotechnics blackout distraction explosion happens, is the idea for the family to get themselves to the vehicle?
The plan, I believe, was to, crowd is here, stage here, pyrotechnics here, van posed as like the morgue van to take the bodies away after the execution.
Okay.
With Pixie and Patch maybe posed as the people doing the body taking away stuff, whatever. Anyway,
The body snatchers.
the body snatchers, yes. So as those pyrotechnics are up, you two would go in, get them into the van, get the van out of there. Pyrotechnics come down, and then
Okay. So you I guess my point is that after you do some of these things, that some of y'all will be like moving in to try and escort them. Cool. That was my bottom line question. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Cool. What are your words? Yes, exactly. Okay. So with this then, we all have our positions. So yeah, I'm going to use those. We are now at the event. The crowd is here already quite boisterous. I've got one for that. That's fine. I'll move on. You're in your positions. Camera zooms in. We see the crowd assembled, the riot squad on nearly every side. This heavily armored vehicle just behind the stage, presumably carrying the family. You also notice that there is another vehicle sort of amongst those, not just more security force vehicles. There is one more vehicle there. Think Black Escalade. Like, this is a heavily tinted window SUV thing here. You would and you see what look like Secret Service members essentially standing around this vehicle. This is new. This was not something that you were exactly privy to, but an interesting development. As the camera pans back from there, we see in this crowd Patch keeping an eye on things, hands clutched on that pocket where this DNA lies. We quickly sort of pan over to a side alley where we see Pixie with the vehicle, just waiting for the right moment, waiting for things to kick off at the ready, and also trying to not draw too much notice as the patrols are quite heavy around here. And then we pan up to the rooftops where, actually, one last question. Opera, are you up on a rooftop with Bo or an side alley nearby?
I would definitely be staying close to Bo. I've seen how he handles himself in a fight.
Got him. Cool. So then you're up on one of these rooftops with Bo. Perfect. There is, as it so happens, yes, there is a console up there, which is why you chose this as the particular vantage point. You had enough time to scout the area and find all of your positions. With all the patrols going around, we'll see how this pans out. But in any case, as the camera then pans up, we've got Bo and Opera up on the rooftop nearby, standing there at the ready. In the sort of foreground, we see the stage down below in the back as we zoom in. And we see some of the security force open the doors of the big armored, like the APC, and the members of the Margot family are marched out. They are in these sort of prison outfits. Their hands are bound. They're in front of them, and they are lined up. They're on the, like, I can actually point on the map. Up here, sort of on the left side of the stage right, house left, facing the stage, they're sort of lined up in a row right there. And then you see the firing squad lined up, stage left, house right, down below them, standing across. They have their weapons. They don't have them aimed and leveled, but they have them drawn. And that's when you see actually, I'll keep that on there for now. You see one of those Secret Service members put their hand up to the ear, as they do, and then open the door of this vehicle. And as they get out and walk up to the mic, there is a strong reaction from the crowd, and you recognize this figure. This is Cassian Zara, the governor of Acronia, aka like the biggest new Galakite bigwig in the area. Without getting into like the actual leader of New Galak itself on the continent across Quelmar. And he takes the stand. Goes up to this mic. There's a little bit of preamble. He introduces himself as he says, damn, I thought I clicked this before. That's fine. There it is. My name is Cassian Zara, your governor of Acronia, and of course, Echo Center. I come before you today to bring us all together as a people, as one. Because even though we should be standing together in celebration of our achievements, advancements, and culture, there is a divide amongst us. There are those who have questioned our actions, our integrity, our might. We are here today because we are resolute. We will continue to be here because we are resilient. And we will endure into the future stronger than ever because our Galakite spirit will never die. And there's a chorus of boos and jeers from the crowd that you hear. Piped over on top of that is a bunch of pre-recorded cheering. For those who would doubt, we offer proof right now. To the naysayers, to the backstabbers, to those who threaten to undermine and upend everything we've built here to make lives better. Let this be a warning to all would-be agents of insurrection. Never doubt the strength of Icronia. And he then takes a step back and lifts a hand to gesture to the firing squad, and they level their weapons, ready to fire. Which I think is a good moment. So, are the pyrotechnics what kicked this off? / blackout.
It would be the blackout, then pyrotechnics.
Okay.
So that we essentially blind most everyone also in the process.
Perfect. I would say that with your connections and with Opera's expertise, it is not that difficult to find a way to cut the power, at least within this localized area. As far as the pyrotechnics go, let's go ahead and flashback. So we are briefly, I think it would make sense that you would... Oh, balls. Let me pull that up. But as speaking, yes, it would make sense to me that you have that you would meet with Omen here at the Neon Garden. That at least it makes sense to me. Let's see. We want this city. I had all this curated music. I forgot to pull up my standard backing tracks. But in any case, so yeah, here. There's a couple of like a bodyguard or two, just because Omen is one of the bigger rocker boys here in Echo Center. But it's more a formality. I feel like you would, there we go. That's what we want. You have a rapport, you have a relationship with Omen here. I'd say it's up to you decide what that is, whether or not like he got his they got their start here or whatever that might be. You see sort of sitting across from you, lounging on this chair, feet propped up on your desk, is this very flamboyantly dressed rocker boy, Omen here. Is he looking at you? Looks at you. So let me get this straight. You want me just like set off a bunch of fireworks, pyrotechnics? I can, but like what? Is this like just for fun or?
Omen, my darling, beautiful boy.
Ah, yes,
my
go
angel.
on. Mm-hmm.
Yes, I'm coming to you because I'm in need of your expertise. And not just your expertise, your flair, your ignitability, your passion and fieriness, so to speak.
Obviously, yeah.
And frankly, you're the best in the business. So this is not our typical performance, however. This is in a sort of unusual venue. We need something that can make a big straight line to keep the audience away from the stage. Also, a lot of people with guns. And I basically go through the whole explanation of what we're trying to accomplish.
Sure.
With sprinkling in lots of compliments and flattery and just general flirting. Yeah. And then wrap it up by saying like, so that's what I need from you, and I have put on my finest crop top in hopes that mixed with our friendship and flair for fashion and exciting things, I'm hoping you'll do it for what your standard pay plus general endangerment fees.
Of course. Well, look, I think general danger fees. I think this is going to work, but go ahead and roll me a persuasion check. Why isn't the chat showing up on this screen? That makes me sad. The chat had been cooperating too. Well, sorry, YouTube VOD watchers. The chat feed is not cooperating.
Oh, well, that's not terrible, but
cool. A 16. I mean, it's a decently low DV. I think with something like this, like, yeah, he is going to want just a little bit of money, at least to cover the cost of the pyrotechnics. So
I'll certainly give extra to also with the and imply that this is needs to be very secretive. Like, do not be seen. Do not tell anyone about this.
Yeah.
Like.
Cool. Let's call this that. We'll say like 250 EBs, kind of as a baseline, cover the cost as well as, you know, make sure his butt's covered. They look at you here. I mean, you can. I know what you're doing with the flattery. You're correct, but listen, you don't have to sell me too hard on sticking it to the man. I mean, this is about as direct as it gets. Honestly, I am starting to get real excited about actually, figuratively flashing my ass at these people rather than the usual literal sense. But yeah, secret's not what I normally do, but thankfully, my roadies, they know how to get in and out, get the job done, and leave the spotlight to those, well, it should shine on. Because I gotta pay my people, cover bases, just a little bit of cost for the pyrotechnics, make sure that they're paid and all, but I am looking forward to this.
Of course. Thank you. Don't worry. All your fees will be covered.
Oh.
And, of course, you're welcome to use my VIP spaces at the Neon Garden anytime you would like, with or without me there. That's up to you, and we can talk about it later.
Bo, you are too good to me. I hardly deserve you. Who does?
This is why we're friends.
Yes, but let's do this. Holds out a handshake, and camera cuts as on that handshake with who knows what follows in those back rooms afterward. But in any case, with that flashback there, your hand, one hand is on switch to cut power, the other on the pyrotechnics, and as you pull up friend computer to help coordinate these things, you do get a the crowd jeering from what I was doing before is a background effect, and now this is back on too.
Ignore that.
You get from a ping from your agent as things kick off.
Oh, tally-ho, right into the belly of the beast.
And you kill the lights. Instantly, there is panic. You hear like screams and shouts from the audience. You hear some shouts from the security force, but also very quickly you get are there not explosions on this soundboard, but you get a explosion as all the pyrotechnics start going off here in the dark. Thankfully, all of you are prepared. You're ready for it, so you are able to shield your eyes. But all in all, it instantly creates the desired chaos. You you have a moment here as the chaos begins before the security force is able to properly respond, but you have bought that bit of time for yourselves to try and pull this off. So, in this moment of chaos, Pixie, I would expect you're still in the vehicle, but the other three, Patch, do you start sort of moving towards the stage? Yeah.
Yeah, this was the signal, right?
Yeah. It's about as big a signal as you can possibly get. Also, yeah, now that things have kicked off, let's get into our heist music here. Awesome. So you start moving into position here. I would say that Opera, it's up to you if you want to, step here. There's some things you can still finagle for distractions. Bo, where are you headed now that you have flipped the switches?
During that, I am keeping an eye on the situation, retconning to say, like, he swapped out of, like, protective, sunglasses into, black lights, or, heat signature sunglasses maybe, or something, whatever.
Sure.
Some way that we can all see, but we weren't blinded when the pyrotechnics went off, whatever that takes.
Sure. I think, I think night vision, I think night vision goggles, easy to obtain. I'd have to look up how much this cost, but that would, yes, absolutely.
I just assume Bo has some of those anyway at the Neon Garden, given the fact that he has to monitor what's happening in all the rooms to make sure patrons aren't getting, like, that everything is consensual and good.
Sure. I would say that you probably may or may not have cameras for that business, but tell you what, we can certainly retcon that you have those. I'm going to.
I'm happy to
at some point here, I'll look up the cost for them later, and I would say that here in the as things kick off, if you do end up using anything like that, I will just make a note to remind you to subtract that money later.
If it costs money, don't worry about it. Not that big of a deal. I'll wing it. I will basically. My main thing is keeping an eye on the situation as best I can. Yeah. And then getting ready with the, like, flyers or whatever we're gonna drop.
Right. Yes.
That have the logo or whatever their, like, thing is.
Sure.
And of course wearing gloves so nobody gets my DNA.
Of course. Excellent. Yeah. Yes, a fair point.
Telling Alpha to make sure nobody shoots me.
Yep, absolutely. Also, I love that. Yes, night vision goggles are easier to find in the day, ironically. Thank you, chat. So perfect. With that being said, so you're staying up here, keeping an eye on the situation. You said, very good. So as Patch, I will say. Go ahead and roll an athletics check for me as you try and get to position. There's a lot of crowd hubbub here, part of which is on purpose, is planned. You all probably didn't share the heist plan with all the rabble-rousers, but chaos has happened. I need an athletics check from you to, like, push past and see if you can get this DNA drop before the security force is able to get their proper response started.
And I actually have a question regarding that. So do I see where the forces are?
Yeah, I would say, like, in this sort of hovering of time, their main goal, I would say, like, in the flashes, the pyrotechnics, actually do. Again, this is cost we can deal with later. Would Patch have night vision, like the night vision goggles, handy?
Only if one of the other members had mentioned it before.
I'm sure that would have, yeah.
Because otherwise it would not have occurred to her. So if they mentioned it to her, she would have picked them up.
Yeah, I'm sure that's fine. Like, you're talking about cutting the power. I think that probably would have come up in conversation. So,
okay.
If you do, obviously also taking care not to activate them before the pyrotechnics, you can see that at least the immediate response has been to like move and cover the governor first and foremost, trying to get the governor back to safety, to their vehicle, to their car. As of yet, the riot line, the riot gear line is still there. I'd say they're like shuffling a little bit. We'll see how they respond in a moment. But they're mostly still there. Margot family is up on stage as well. They seem to be kind of like trying to get their bearings, looking for their exit as well. In this moment, basically, it's a mosh pit, but the general positions have not changed a ton.
Okay.
Yet.
So I'm guessing the car there, the Escalade type thing, is closer to me than the stage right now.
The Escalade is like behind the stage, so you are closer to the stage. If you're in the crowd, the stage is closer.
Okay, then, but both the governor and the family are on that stage at the same time.
Correct.
Okay, then that sort of negates
at this point, the family is a little bit closer to you than all the force. So they're moving towards the car, towards the backstage. The family is still mostly there on stage, so they're closer to you.
Okay.
I
still have to get. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. This may or may not help. So you're here in the crowd somewhere, up to you. Control. I thought I could. Maybe I'm thinking roll 20. So yeah, you're here in the crowd somewhere. The governor is more like towards the back right, stage left here, and the Margot family is still like right here.
Okay, that does help.
Cool.
And where's the riot line?
The riot line is like right in front of this stage. Kind of keep a buffer between the crowd and the stage.
Okay, but there's a good deal of space between the crowd and the riot line.
There's like a little barricade here. Yeah.
Okay. What's gonna happen if I throw a smoke grenade their way?
Only one way to find out.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that before I start my move.
Hell yes. I'm going to say that I'm not going to even, as long as you've got it in an inventory and you've subtracted, I'm not even going to call for a roll here because this is more or less a surprise round and it's in the dark and there's enough chaos. There is no way that they are going to be able, like, recognize and avoid this smoke grenade here. Like normally there's a dodge chance for grenades or hitting a DV. Actually, no, I do want a roll from you to see if you, in this chaos, get the grenade in the right spot. It's DV13 is the usual for grenades. I'm gonna say since you've got the goggles, I'm not going to impose any penalty. I would say the chaos of the crowd plus their not being ready for grenade offset each other. And you've got the darkness handled, so flat. I think it's heavy weapons, I believe is the roll for grenades.
I don't know. I'll take your word for it. I have no idea.
Yeah, I believe it's heavy weapons. Let me double check.
I believe that we learned that heavy weapons is if you're using a grenade launcher. If you are just throwing a grenade, it is an acrobatics check.
Okay. Yes. Now that you mention that, I believe you are correct. Acrobatics or athletics?
It was in literally the first session where Patch almost poisoned me with nerve gas.
Yeah, that's why I was asking about the location of everybody this time.
That's right. At the very least, you're not going to hit any of your allies.
Good.
With that, yeah, explosives. Let's see. Roll. Plus pass. Read the weapons. Grenade launcher. Yep. Yeah, that sounds right to me as far as that goes. Damage. Roll. Choose to blah 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 blah. Okay, so then yeah, I'll say athletics or acrobatics. It may just say acrobatics, but in this particular scenario, either makes sense to me.
I literally only see athletics on my sheet. I don't know where acrobatics would be.
Well,
It is athletics. Apologies. That is
Oh.
a 5. That is a vestigial 5e twitch.
Okay.
okay. You know, and I fell for it. Hook, line, and sinker. Athletics, because that in Cyberpunk versus like 5e, athletics and acrobatics are separate. It's all same skill. All right. And thank you, fan, for contributing to changing friend computer settings. All right.
Yeah. All right. Wish me luck. I'm going to spend a little bit more luck here too. All right.
The DV was 13, so that is a pass.
Okay.
You are able to get that smoke grenade. It's pretty close. Like someone shoves your elbow, your shoulder, like at the same moment, but you're still able to place that smoke grenade and goes up this smoke grenade. I'm sure there are specific mechanics for a smoke grenade, but it's a smoke grenade. I feel like we can handle. I feel like we can handle that much. So this barricade and riot line here, this area for sure is obscured in smoke, so you would be able to slip through. If that is where you're headed, if you're headed to the stage, I'm going to say as part of this turn, you do so. There is enough, and with your goggles don't work quite as well in the smoke, but I think in all the chaos, you can head in a straight line. That is easy enough. Get to stage, pop on up. There's some smoke spilling out onto the stage, but the thick of it, I would say, is it covers sort of the front of the stage. Nice visual cover, but otherwise, you are good. Okay, so that kind of being the end of the round here. Here's what happens next. You, of course, I would say, yeah, I was about to say Lee. Bow and Opera, you catch a little bit of this. Pixie, you might hear, at least, Pixie, you, from your perspective, you see the lights click out. Y'all have got, like, y'all can communicate via agents. I think we've already established that y'all have earpieces, so y'all can communicate with each other just fine. But you hear the signal, lights go out, all the explosions start happening, chaos ensues, and you all of you hear at least echoes, if not directly, shouts from the security force to like, protect the governor, get him out of here, like shouts, all that, and you start seeing some like spotlights from the airships overhead start to click on and start kind of searching, trying to keep a light on everything. With that smoke grenade, you have obfuscated your little area pretty decently as of right now. The spotlight has not tracked that the family is right there. But yeah, you have stirred up the bee's nest. The spotlights are coming out, and they are starting to look for whoever is responsible for this. And I would say the riot squad that is in the smoke is going to have a harder time, but some of the other surrounding ones, they start to like click on their goggles. I mean, this is very like inflated budget kind of paramilitary thing going on. Not even paramilitary, just straight military. Seeing some of them start to like click on their goggles in night vision, infrared, whatever. They are now looking for who is responsible. And I think one more tick of the clock. They are not yet, but as soon as the governor is fully secure, the family is going to be secured or secured next, if they're still there. So, yes. What do we do as this beat ticks over? Patch, I would say, yeah, as part of your last action, you're able to, I think, since you're on the stage, you can drop the DNA. That I'm not worried about.
Would that be my action?
Just because, because it was like so established before, I'm going to say that that was part of your either at the beginning of this next turn or the end of your grenade turn. If it's just as simple as pulling something out of your pocket and dropping it, I'm not going to worry about an action there.
Okay.
If now making that believable and plausible is still something that y'all have to accomplish, because as of right now, the family is still on the stage. But at least for right now, there's enough distraction that the security force has not clocked them. So what do you all do?
I mean, I guess I would have given the family some sort of signal telling them where I am to get them to the vehicle.
Okay. Yeah, I think it would have been easy enough to give them with your scouting. You had a couple of days to scout, I think, before that Monday meeting. So like a direction, at least. You're pretty sure you can get there. Go ahead and make a fortune roll for me, Pixie. So that's just straight D10 for me. Luck roll. Nine. Yeah, you were able to secure a inconspicuous position where you thought you would be. You were not like cut off or cordoned off by the perimeter here. So you are in position, and let's confirm here. What kind of vehicle are you in?
I think we had talked about like a morgue vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it would be something like that.
Cool. Just wanted to confirm there. Sweet. So let's do quick flashback. Let's see what we want. Yeah, let's not all the way back. We'll go back to this track here. We flash back to securing this vehicle here. It makes sense to me that between your view, actually, I'll ask: is this like something that you mocked up to look like a morgue vehicle, or did you secure like the actual one?
I think between my connections and Patch's connections, and Patch jump in if this is not correct, we would have probably figured out the real thing.
Okay. Yeah, that's I was about
or
to
like gotten Pixie to be the driver instead of the like standard person that does those things, or something like that.
Okay. That I think would definitely be something that you can do. Yeah, I was about to name Patch here, but wanted to wait to see what y'all cooked up first. Perfect.
And just to add like another wrinkle that we didn't touch on earlier, we are driving them to a different vehicle that the Vemery family.
Okay.
And they're going to take them elsewhere.
Perfect. Yeah, your vehicle laundering. Got it. Okay.
Yes.
Then with that, also, just a brief aside, I am really crossing my fingers, knocking on wood here. There is some like rain and stormy stuff in the area here. I've already seen my lights just barely flicker a little bit during this stream. So if we suddenly disappear and the stream goes offline, that's probably why, because I've lost power. But in any case, that's not going to happen.
Be a storm.
Exactly, but that is not going to happen.
I mean, it just fits with our theme of blackouts, right?
Yes, it's an immersive stream, immersive experience. Cool. Yeah, I think it is. You've got the connections exactly, Patch, to possibly weasel your way into getting the driver there. Is it for you, Patch? Some things that come to mind. If you've got a different curveball, let me know. But do you just like grease a palm, or is there somebody who like owes you a favor? What are you thinking?
I I mean, we could go the bribery route, but I also think that just due to her past and the past of her family, especially with the people that she's patched up without any questions and whatnot, they may have, offered her a favor in exchange that she could just call in at a later date. Maybe this is one of those times.
Okay. Yeah, I like that a lot. Especially, like, we've established that your family often does sort of odd jobs all over the place. So it's not out of reason for you to try and get a member of your family into an odd job like driving a hearse. Is a hearse, whatever. This vehicle in question. I would say that the connection, the favor gets you in because this is somewhat high profile. This is going to work, but I want a persuasion roll from you to get them to agree that this is the favor to cash in. If it goes well, perfect. If not, might be a wrinkle.
All right.
13. Okay. Hey, off an 8. It's not bad. So the 13. They agree to this, but because of the high profile nature of this, just them breathing down their neck for security. Pixie, you got the job. You are in the driver's seat. You've got a co-pilot here with you. You've got someone else and like a medical official, as it were, who is in the passenger seat with you. That's the wrinkle. They agreed, but you not unsupervised. Flash forward. So we're here in position. You've got the vehicle. You've still got your passenger, unless we more recent mini flashback to see how you handle that. But yeah, what? Actually, I will ask you, Pixie. How do you handle this hanger-on here?
Question for you first.
Yeah.
Where is the blacked out vehicle in relation to my vehicle?
I'd say that's partially up to you. The further away it is, I would say less likely that the security force or whomever would make that connection, but obviously it takes a little bit longer to get there, easier to get caught. If it is closer, vice versa. Easier to get to,
you said it was behind the stage, right?
Yeah, that makes sense to me. Like that they would pull the bodies, back in the backstage area. I would say you are probably set up. Well, actually, since we've now established that you're in an official capacity, you can be pretty close.
Right. So
Yeah.
both the governor's vehicle and the morgue vehicle are behind the stage.
Yeah, I'd say there's like a wide, keeping Cyberpunk City and all, there's like a wide alleyway here in this backstage area that usually is the backstage green room-esque area. Probably some ground floor bodega-style establishments that are co-opted for events, for like rocker boy concerts or official events like this. I would say you're even familiar with that, having used that as like part of your backstage area for your magic acts. But at least the vehicles proper, are in this wide alleyway. I would say you are the furthest away from the stage. Yeah, with the armored vehicle and the governor's car between you and the stage.
Okay. Does my co-pilot have a name?
They sure do. This is Kent.
All right.
who, with all this explosion, is looking real nervous here. What is going on out there? This, what should we do?
I think you better like get out and look. I don't want to I don't want anything in our path, you know?
What? Where the explosions are out there?
Yeah. I mean, it could be the governor.
Right. But I mean, they've got guards and stuff. I'm gonna need a persuasion roll here to try and.
Can I throw in one little thing?
Mm-hmm.
I'll throw in 1,000 EBs for you if you get out of the vehicle and take a look.
They narrow their eyes. You just out of the blue offering a very large amount of money in this. But that's also a lot of money. And I feel like these folks, even though they're official, probably aren't paid, certainly not paid as well, compensated as well as, not the same as the military budget. So if you wire it to me and I'll do it.
Done.
Okay. Yeah, just confirming that you actually give him the money before he does anything.
Yeah.
All right. You can see him, like, the gears turning, him wanting so very desperately to question this situation. But now that his account is 1,000 EBs heavier, he is going to, look the other way here for the moment. So yeah, he gets out of the vehicle to ensure that the path is clear. So you have. She
runs him over.
Yeah. Yeah. So now you have successfully have a window where you can potentially ditch your co-pilot, your passenger. Sweet. Yeah, and yeah, since you're nice and close, yeah, I would say, yeah, you can stay put until the family's bored. Fantastic. Actually, we can talk about that later. Cool. Other folks, what you doing? As the security force has responded, are responding here. What do you do?
When you say they're responding, can you elaborate a little bit?
Yeah, that's like the spotlights coming from the sort of hover copters. Okay. Spotlights. The people in the smoke are going to have some time before they can get out and see anything. But some of the more perimeter folks are starting to switch on their technology as well, and are starting to look for the perpetrators, whoever's responsible for this. So you see
turning on some of that equipment is like night vision goggles too, right?
Yes, correct. Yeah, like infrared and night goggles. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Since I'm up in the area where presumably all of like the lights and sound and stuff are, could I get a hold of like one of the spotlights and start trying to blind some of these people who think that it's really dark?
Yeah, I would. So at least initially in my head, the spotlights were like on the hovering copters, but now that I think about it, there probably would be some rooftop spotlight that I would say, yeah. And
I mean, if not, I can just use a laser pointer.
Exactly. I'd say, yeah, it's up to you. One is certainly more stylish. You can try and
that's why I thought it was more fun.
You can try and like hop up.
And me, come on.
Exactly. So I'm saying you can either hop up, like try and like jump up onto one of the hover copters, or like jump to an adjacent rooftop and commandeer one of these spotlights.
I mean, is jumping to one of these hovercopters even physically possible? Remember the last
For
time I tried
you,
to jump
it
on
is.
something?
Oh, I had forgotten that. With your robot legs, I would say so.
I mean, I would like to know mechanically what the DV would be, so I would have a rough idea of my actual, like, statistical odds.
Sure thing. Because this is rad as hell, and you've got robot legs, I would say DV 17 to try and get yourself up to one of the hovercopters. Alternatively, if you go to an adjacent rooftop, no DV for jumping, but you will probably need to subdue whoever is running that spot.
That I am happy to do. I am very good at subduing people. I am more
Okay.
likely to succeed at subduing a poor light operator than I am to get a 7 on a D10.
Cool. So yeah, you see one of the you see a security force person there with a spotlight a couple of rooftops over. I think with as much scouting time as y'all had, y'all were able to, not just be standing on the edge of the rooftop where literally everybody can see you, which is why I haven't spotted you yet. But yeah, so you run over, you see this spotlight operator. They probably hear you just as you approach, and you get a wait. What? Go ahead and make your attack with your weapon of choice.
I'm going to use judo on him.
I thought that might be the case. Go ahead. He, oh yeah, I guess he does melee. He necessarily makes a roll. But yeah, go ahead and roll your attack. Evasion.
Ew. Well, first one was okay.
Okay.
I'm still regaining my balance.
Yeah, that 8 is, well, it may or not do it. Where's the freaking evasion? Dexterity. There it is. Okay. Cool. So using these Mook stats, let's see how they evade. I'm going to give him a
The
minus.
light operator has an 8 in reflex.
For melee, if I'm not mistaken, instead of a DV,
okay.
it is necessarily an evasion. It still might be bad, but the reflex is 5 for the record, so you're still probably fine, at least on the first one. I'm going to give him a -1 since you're kind of catching them off guard. So the 23 goes through. The 8 will miss, but go ahead and roll your damage for the first one.
Oh man, they get to use D20. I'm using a D10 like a schmuck.
Oh my, sorry, you are absolutely correct.
No, I'm okay with him failing once.
I will keep the first fail. I will roll once properly for the second attack. Apologies. Force a habit. You work as a 5e DM professionally for 2 years, and then it'll get you. Okay, so same result. Go ahead and roll your damage for that first attack.
All right, whack. Ugh.
13 for a second. It looked like that was gonna be a crit.
So close.
Why is there HP not just listed right there? Hold on real quick. Pretend like you can't see this.
See what?
Exactly. You see nothing. Perfect. Okay. Yeah, you bonk this person. What it will do, at least for the moment, is, so you hurt him pretty badly, and in fact, he is now past that threshold, the injured threshold, where you're at half hit points or less. So he is suffering from that injured condition, but he's still up. What you have succeeded in doing is that particular spotlight is sort of now flipped up, so it is not actively searching for any of you. But you do see that he is starting to go for a radio, or going for the radio. But we're gonna pause on you there on that round. So, Bo or Patch, what are you up to?
I'm torn because there are things that I like. I'm like, just do the cool thing. But the cool thing
Yes.
would reveal that it's potentially reveal my identity and that I am involved, which would be bad. So I'm a little thrown with the spotlights because I was hoping to knock all those out with the blackout, but that makes sense that they would have their own like power source.
Yeah.
So
Oh, wait.
That's where my, because I mean, if they're attached to the helicopters, they're running off of a generator or something, and we
okay,
that's
sorry. That's why I wasn't thinking of like rooftop style. Is that
but
the blackout. The copters have their own powers.
right.
So then let me slightly amend what you've got. Opera, you can still potentially achieve your goal. I think you've got at least the technical know-how and probably the actual technology hardware to like kick this spotlight on, at least temporarily, to blind people. So it is not currently on, but you are still might be able to commandeer it. So yes.
Yeah,
so
my expectation was to try and do like a blast, because I assumed that part of the point of this plan was the blackout.
yes. So
like,
I will amend.
A little bit of juice.
Yes, amend what I just said, that there are a couple of hovercopters who have like searching spotlights, but everything else is black.
In that case, I think what I'm going to do is try to assist Opera and both myself at staying hidden.
Mhm.
Like, so that even though it's probably clear that like a spotlight blast came from a building somewhere in that vicinity,
Mhm.
can I use my sort of disguise skills to quickly grab like whatever detritus and garbage and whatever is around this roof to create a sort of do not perceive us shield?
Yeah.
Like, I'm imagining like if he's over at the spotlight, I would join him at the spotlight and basically like throw like a poncho covered garbage over us so that we're not visible as even human shaped.
Yeah, this is a cyberpunk city, so yes, there's absolutely like garbage and stuff on these rooftops. I'd say like maybe even a tarp, tarp garbage, be able to, at least
the goal being goal being that like if anyone were to look over to where they thought the spotlight was coming from, they would only see piles of garbage.
That absolutely makes sense to me. Giving yourself some cover.
Now, what skill that would be, I'm not quite sure yet.
That's what I'm trying to think. I feel like I want to make it roll something, but
how about where'd it go?
deduction.
There was like something under that like my cool
What's your first aid?
stat somewhere. I mean, I guess it's not conceal reveal person. It's conceal reveal
Say
object.
like I mean,
but
basic one is like you could do perception to just like find appropriate garbage, or how about, since you're very well versed in personal grooming, that you would therefore know how to do the opposite. I know you mentioned last time that some of those skills you as a fixer like feel a little bit to the wayside with just how I've been running things. So I would allow personal grooming here, sure.
Cool. Or like, would wardrobe and style make more sense, or I guess personal grooming makes sense with the garbage.
Actually, I would either way. Wardrobe and style, same sort of concept.
Okay.
And that you know how to clean up good, and therefore you know also how to dirty down good.
I mean, we all knew Bo know how to do that, but all right. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Ooh, I see that. 10-29. Yeah. I would say that with a roll like that, you had the foresight to prepare some appropriate garbage, detritus, rooftop accoutrement in case something like this was needed. And with your quick speed and skill, you are in fact able to conceal the two of you from just cursory scrutiny. for some time. The guy who's going for the radio starts freaking out a little bit as he's like kind of being covered with a tarp, and yeah, freaking out for a number of reasons. Cool. Lastly, part of the round, I think we're going to finish out this round, and then I just clocked the clock. With all this excitement, it's going along faster for me anyway. Patch, what are you doing sort of in this moment here?
Okay, how many family members are there?
Sorry. No, you're right. I know I threw out a specific number. Did I say
it was 5? 5 or 6?
It was like 6 or 7, I think.
7.
7.
Okay,
Oh,
that's right. There are
5.
7.
Maybe that was
Okay.
5 plus you plus the other guy.
I have
Yes. So Pixie
I have
makes
7
8.
members plus Pixie. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, you know
Okay.
what? Sorry, you're right. 5 was a different thing. You're right. Yes, 7 people in the family plus Pixie.
Yeah. So 6 plus Minna, and then plus Pixie.
Yes.
And do I see... Oh, I'm sorry. You were going to say something?
No.
Jonathan? Oh, okay. Do I see the distance between us and the hearse /
Yes.
morgue bus?
Mhm.
What's the distance? Maybe not like an exact specification.
Not exact.
It's just...
Like 30 feet?
30 feet. Okay.
I'd say like 30 feet from like the back. No, they're slightly further away. I will say 40 feet from like the back of the stage itself to the hearse. 40 feet.
Okay. Last question, I think. So the smoke is obfuscating a part of the riot line.
Yep.
What about above us?
Yeah,
If the-
I would say it is dispersed enough at this point. Basically, the whole kind of... plus, as you can see, just the top of the stage.
Mhm.
All of this right here is obscured. They are not currently looking, at least at this moment, the spotlights. The spotlights are not currently sweeping behind the stage. And
Okay.
they're... there's at least enough hubbub that you could potentially still get through, because a lot of focus right now is still on the governor.
Okay. So I guess basically, if I were to send the family members in that direction now,
Mhm.
nobody would be looking at them.
They could make it part of the way without being spotted.
Okay.
They would probably not make it all 40 feet without some kind of help or distraction.
Okay. But the smoke grenade is now covering the entire riot line?
Yes. So yeah, you are not going to be currently like flanked from behind. Your threats are currently in front of you.
Okay.
Yeah, because these people are all in smoke and are probably not going to be looking behind them because they're going to be concerned with the crowd, making sure that,
Got it.
you know. I would say actually at this point you start hearing some like more shouts and even some like bottles broken as the crowd is getting rowdy. They're throwing bottles, full on riot.
Mosh pit's gonna mosh pit.
Exactly. So
okay.
you're up here on the stage. The family is not far from you over here. Most of the other security forces are kind of like back further this way, concerned with the governor. And the APC, the big armored vehicle, the driver's probably still in there. but like there's not a lot of eyes on that path currently.
Okay. So yeah, I guess at this point, as unobtrusively as possible, Patch is going to direct them in the path of least resistance to at least get them part of the way. And she's going to keep her eyes peeled to see if, not even wait until anything changes, if it looks like there's going to be a hint of somebody, turning their eyes or their attention to us.
Yeah. You feel like that is, I will tell you that without a roll. There is enough security back here that you might could even get around halfway, like another 20 feet or so. But as visor, night vision goggles, infrared, things like that click on, unless there's some kind of help, which it does look like at least one of you might be on that, but regardless, yeah. And since your whole plan here is to make it look like they were blown up in the pyrotechnics, either you're going to need to cover their tracks, somebody is going to need to cover them for a little bit until they get to the car, or someone is going to have to kill a whole lot of security witnesses.
Okay.
We can also start with tell me what the golden rule of tell me what you want to do, what your goal is. If you've got some ideas, flashbacks, means of accomplishing it, by all means, but otherwise I can potentially help you figure things out.
My goal is to get the entire family in the back of the truck with nobody seeing them.
Great.
Even if that means distractions. Hopefully not killing, but she's got a shotgun. But she also still has she has 2 smoke grenades left. She's also got a flashbang.
Hey.
And a sleep grenade.
I would say that any one of those 3 sounds like a very good candidate to help cover tracks if they are successful.
Patch has all the cool things.
Well, here's the thing, she pretty much only has a shotgun and grenades. That is her life. So
Pharmacist, yep.
Right?
Apologies if I missed this, just for clarification.
Mm-hmm.
So the pyrotechnics did not fully separate the security forces from the family?
Yeah.
So
what is it has functionally temporarily isolated them. You're just sort of actually, let me ask then and clarify, with these pyrotechnics, maybe I misunderstood. Where exactly were they placed? What kind of was that goal? Down.
That would have been mm-hmm. In theory, they were the goal of them was to provide a blockade, mm-hmm. They had multiple goals, but the big one being blockade between the folks with guns and the family. Well, basically the audience, everyone cool. Separate. Presumably there would probably also be, if these are the people that are in the back part of this stage, I don't know. I was just trying to figure out
mm-hmm. I think I see what you're saying. So they're, yeah, I suppose maybe I dismissed or underestimated how long this pyrotechnic display is. You did kind of make a big deal of it.
That's fine. I was just kind of figuring yeah. I may just not have explained it well. I also was not anticipating a covered stage. I was anticipating just a platform that they were doing this on.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that part of it. I guess
I will say kind of between. So I will say between Patch's smoke grenade and the pyrotechnics, that is why they have not been spotted yet. While the plan is still a go for now, but there is some distance to get to the car, and that is the issue now.
Okay.
If they stay put, they would probably have some time, before they get found, spotted, whatever, but they're not staying put. They're running for the car.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
All right, I follow. Thank you. Yes.
Cool. Great. So then up to you there, Patch. You've got a arsenal of grenades. Which one is speaking to you right now?
How far away are they?
The security force people?
Yes. I hopefully I'm not going to do anything to the family.
Yeah. You can angle it easy enough where you, well, unless you really botch the roll, I would say if you successfully roll in this grenade, you will not hit the family.
Okay.
But most of them are more congregated around the governor's car, including the Secret Service style people, as well as some of the actual security force back here. You can like lob a grenade over there, and that would almost certainly draw attention well enough that the family can get away.
Okay. And
Or
out of the three...
here.
What?
Yeah. No, continue.
Out of the three options that I have, probably just going to try another smoke grenade,
Sure.
because that'll encompass everybody.
Okay. Go ahead and roll another athletics check then to throw this grenade.
Gonna burn a little bit of luck. By which I mean the rest of my luck.
Yeah. Between your move, perfect. Okay. I was going to say between, moving and everything, you can get close enough to lob it in the right spot. Yeah, with a 17, DV again, 13, and I am actually like, these folks are on, like, as opposed to the riot squad, you got to jump on them. It has been at least a little bit of time, a little bit of a few seconds. I am going to give one roll each for our oh, that's right, the reflex. I'd say the riot squad people are too sort of geared up, too encumbered to like dodge this smoke grenade. Secret Service people, on the other hand, I am going to give them a roll. Plus some number to avoid. Their evasion is not going to be that high. So you do, in fact, manage to catch the whole lot of them in this smoke grenade.
Okay.
I would say, visually, they clock that grenade as it ting, 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 like, and then so many people jump in front of the governor. But then
Right.
the smoke spews out. They were expecting a explosive grenade, as you might imagine. But with that smoke, you kind of lose sight, even with your, it's night vision goggles, not like infrared or anything, or thermal.
Right.
So yeah, you kind of lose sight of beyond the smoke curtain. More shouts, more people like diving in front of the governor. But this, you think, is going to be good enough to get them to the car. Cool.
Got it.
Yeah. All right. So that is all sort of like round two, as it were. Let's go ahead and so as we head into a break, we've got the family is on their way to the escape vehicle. The escape vehicle has been vacated of an annoying passenger who like wasn't even cool or anything. Yeah, that was something you picked up, Pixie. They're just kind of like, oh god, very white bread. But Bo, you are ready to sort of camouflage you in opera. And opera, you are ready to, pun intended, knock the lights out of this the security force positioned up on this rooftop. And with that, let's take a quick break, and then we'll see how this heist concludes. right, welcome back, folks. We are mid-heist, so not much to say. Let's just get back to heisting. So, here's we get into round 3. Some more sort of enemy / NPC developments. These, I would say, the swooping spotlights from the hovercrafts do sort of, one of them passes across the rooftop where Bo and Opera are, but thanks to the camouflage that you threw up, it seems to pass on, does not linger, does not really like immediately notice anything. There's a lot of chaos around, so that certainly helps your situation. Speaking of you two, so Bo, you've got the camouflage in place. Opera, you are ready to keep punching this person, but they have not divulged all the details, but you now see that they like press the button. They've got the communication line open on their radio. They're like, they've like begun the alert, like we'll go with along the lines of got caught in my fishnets.
I've got 2 bogeys on the rooftop, over it.
That's about as much as he's gotten onto the radio so far. So we'll see if you're able to finish the job there, Opera. Patch with that smoke grenade. Yeah, so you've tossed the smoke grenade. And, well, we'll come back to you in a second. And then, Pixie, you look out the window now, and in addition to seeing a somewhat frenetic Kent here, now seeing like the smoke spring up much closer to like 20 feet from the car, and sound all sorts of things. They're freaking out a little bit, but you also see your family start emerging from the smoke, running towards the car. Excellent. So as we begin this round, yeah, let's go ahead. I said we'll put a pin in it, so I will actually put my hand on the wheel here for how we're starting this round. Patch. They clocked the smoke grenade. They weren't able to avoid it. But now, like a second or a couple seconds pass, you hear a car door slam. And then there's a lot of gunfire now pointed, sort of spraying in your direction as they clocked the direction of the grenade. The aim is definitely going to be a little off in this moment.
Okay.
But there are a lot of guns over there.
I thought I was running with the family, and then I chucked the grenade and kept going with them.
Oh, okay. I misunderstood then.
That's okay.
This is still going to be widespread. Then, rather than I was going to just like make attack rolls from where you're standing, go ahead and make an evasion check for me. They're kind of, now that the governor is, you hear the car door slam, so you can assume that the governor's in there. They're spraying wide. So,
Gotcha.
Yeah, go ahead and make an evasion check. Oh, wait. Is that it right there? The 18? Right in front of my face? Okay, sorry. It didn't make the noise, the click-clack.
It didn't make the noise for me either. That's weird.
Didn't roll across the screen. Well, that's a bummer. In any case, it might be I have that setting turned off. Anyways, an 18. That is a crit fail, which tracks, given that they are in the smoke. So I would say the riot squad at least had clicked on their night vision. The smoke, it's night vision does not help in smoke, so they like start firing. I would say you're all aware that they have other settings with this bloated military budget. So, but for the moment, you as the that's right, just some various gunfire here flying around. You continue to get some like more riot noises, more bottles breaking out around you. Now it's not just the gunfire, but like the crowd is now fully rioting. Sort of panic plus adrenaline, seizing the moment to stick it to the man, etc. It's probably a good thing that none of you are in this mosh pit in the center, because that is at this moment maybe the most dangerous place to be. But so you avoid this gunfire. You're running along with the family towards the vehicle. We'll say that you reach the vehicle. They start piling in the back here. You've covered your tracks well enough, so the family piles in the back of the car, much to running past the quite shocked Kent, who sees this. So let's make sense to me. Let's go over to Pixie. Your family's in the car. You get just like one hand on the shoulder from Minna, at least. Are you disguised currently?
I would probably be in like a mortician's uniform.
I mean, uniform, yes, but like.
Yeah, probably.
That makes sense. Okay.
Because I don't want to be associated with her.
So then, does not address you by name, but like claps a hand on the shoulder. Seems like, she is rolling with this plan, even though she does not know all the details. Whatever is currently happening is better than being executed by firing squad. So you get a hand on the shoulder. You see that you have a witness now, since you sent him out to go make sure the path is clear. It is. And he also saw this. What do you do?
I am going to take out a road flare.
Okay.
Light it.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Kent, hold this.
Okay.
And then...
He is, I think, stunned enough that... Probably no rule needed.
You're gonna leave him holding the bag?
Yeah, holding the bag, holding the flare. He has witnessed, though, that the Margot family is not dead.
So then I'm gonna lean out the window and say, "Hey, there's a perpetrator over here, right here." And then I'm gonna run away.
Just
drive
yes.
And leave.
Okay. Fascinating. Trying to think. I don't really think there's a deception or persuasion needed here. You shout, "Here's perpetrator over here." They're not really in the determine the truth of veracity of all of the things shouted now. He's at least going to have somebody coming down on him, on Kent. As far as what you're doing, do you presumably start driving away?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead and actually scratch that. With your bunkers drive land vehicle skill, I'm not even going to. I won't make you have a check. I know generally I have been doing one roll per turn, but in this case I will say I'm not going to require a roll. Even though I suppose we have seen nat ones people drive into trees. What I am going to say is that you, on the sort of dispatch radio that you've got in there, this is an official vehicle after all, as you start driving away, you hear sort of a voice on the other end that says,
"Wait, where the hell are you going? You haven't been given leave to..."
Let me rephrase that as, but...
"You haven't been given permission to leave, clearance to leave yet. Where are you going?"
Clearing a path for the governor.
Clever, clever.
Not bad. Go ahead and make a persuasion. Now, okay, now I will. Go ahead and make a persuasion check.
I'm gonna add a little bit of luck.
Not bad. Okay.
That's not your job. Fine. What?
You can hear, like, in the background, there is a lot of chatter. Like, wherever this dispatch is, there is a lot happening all at once. You hear,
That's not your job. Fine. What? Just as soon as the governor's car is clear, pull over and we'll assess the situation. Right? Clear?
Copy.
Copy.
And it blips now. I forgot. Yeah, I've got these, like, I'm gonna use those. Perfect. So you can blip out. So you have bought yourself some time. If you don't comply with those orders, you might arouse a little bit of suspicion, but at least you have, again, bought yourself some time. Y'all are really doing well in these roles. And as you drive away, you do kind of see in the rear view here a couple of, like, riot squad people, like, just full on tackle Kent.
Sorry.
No, you're not. So let's pan back up to the roof. We've got Bo and Opera here stationed trying to deal with a couple of things. It makes sense to me, unless Bo, you want to pull something. It makes sense to me that Opera over to you to see where you're at, what you're doing.
I'm still wailing on the guy who is just about to talk into a microphone, right?
Yes, he is starting to talk into his radio. Go ahead. Yeah, you can wail away.
I'm going to try and punch him again. So I'm going to punch him twice.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, goodness, another one. Oh, but that's better.
19. Okay, They could also net one on the first one. They don't. So the first one will miss. But they're, especially with their, they've got a -1 on everything, is because they are injured. That second one is going to hit.
All right. As I punch him over and over again,
or twice, Wow.
I do not roll well.
It's just like the spider drone, but the damage rolls have not been. But thankfully, this is just like security guard. You did. If memory serves,
24 total damage across
24
86,
total damage,
which is only 4 under the EV, I think.
Yeah. With 24 points of damage done, with some armor ablation. Like, this is, he's not full on riot squatted, but he's got like a little bit of armor. All that melee attacks ignore part of it. Point being, he is extremely hurt.
Okay.
As
I am punching him, I am specifically saying, "Oh no, I am so tired of being part of the Forsworn, and I can't use any of my technology, so I am going to take revenge on you for your fancy talking box with my fists, because I do not use anything with lights or electricity on it."
Yes.
I'm just saying that very loudly, as close as my face can get to his walkie-talkie, while I am beating the shit out of him.
Oh, yes, this is perfect.
Forsworn Gain said same thing, right?
Whatever. I almost said Forspoken, and then I remembered that was a terrible video game.
Oh, yeah. I played the demo of it, and I've only played the demo of it and feel no motivation to get the full game. And that's what I have to say about that. In any case, okay.
That's what Opera does.
Yeah. You have nearly knocked this person out. They will continue chatter into the radio. So basically, actually, let's go to Bo first. Yeah, Bo, what do you do?
Having seen that our friend is still kicking, since I'm under this garbage blanket with the other two of them, And I'm just, is punching just like, or basically like an unarmed strike or whatever, is that brawling?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay. Yeah, so I'd like to try to, for flavor, I guess, grab his like microphone and just start beating him with it.
Very good. Okay.
Or just actually like, maybe just
with
try
the
to like,
radio.
well, like,
I
or the
love it.
radio, just like, well, actually, I'll stick to my what's the term?
Guns.
My past theming,
Mhm.
and I'll take the microphone and try to shove it into his mouth.
Perfect. Yeah, we'll call that
For all intents and purposes, it's a brawling. I'm just gonna hit him so he goes down. But
yeah.
for
So
flavor,
yeah, absolutely. So flavor-wise, that's the score. Go ahead and roll a brawling attack. $17, not bad. That is a natural one. Yep. You see him like trying to juggle both evading Opera and talking into the radio, and you see that he's like fumbling for a weapon out of his holster, and it is just too much to handle all at once. You grab that radio and just jam it down his throat here, and I'll leave it up to you. Do you want to kill with this sort of melee? Or go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really like, not necessarily with the intention of killing him. Probably.
Okay,
Bo's
that was going to be my
try
question:
just,
is
like,
kill or
incapacitate
kill or
But if
incapacitate
he
slash knock out.
dies, Bo's not gonna be sad about it.
Okay,
Um,
I'd say it's your
but,
choice
yeah.
given this scenario.
just all of that while saying, we probably need to kill him. But yeah, all just while saying, yeah, what the other guy said, bad technology, bad.
Perfect. You hear, all sort of radio chatter there of what the hell's going on up there? Like just faint.
Gold.
Yep. And then now even fainter there with it shoved down his throat. We'll see.
Just like a lot of things about themselves.
Yeah. And you hear and feel a number of pops and things give way as you shove it down his throat, as they're not generally designed for big bulky radios to go down there. But they
just for science.
They drop for sure. Okay. Thankfully, you were able to subdue this guy before he was able to give your exact location. He was able to relay that there something rooftop, bogeys on the rooftop. So you do start seeing the spotlight sweeping across the rooftops here in the square. It's already swept past you once.
I guess in that case, I would just signal to Opera that we need to move down a floor, potentially. Like under our garbage poncho.
Yeah.
And we can
Holds up like a blood-splattered fist.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'll take the and taking those like Gainsaid flyers or whatever pieces of paper with us. We'll dump them. I'll plan to dump them from the other floor.
Okay. That works for me. So then here
One other thing. I don't know if I can do this maybe next turn or something else, but could I have in the sort of little retcon style of this battle, could I say that actually I don't even need to retcon it. I have a heck ton of glow sticks on me. Before we leave the rooftop, I want to like rip open the guy's that we just killed's shirt, and like on his chest and like glow stick, I want to just do the Gainsaid symbol real quick to make it look like maybe he was a Gainsaid in disguise.
Okay.
Or he was a sympathizer. I don't know, just something fun.
Just something. Yeah, no, you like leaving some more breadcrumbs pointing the finger at the Gainsaid. Love that. Okay. In that case, I will say that for now, taking the time to do that.
I can do that next turn or something
Yeah,
as we're moving.
I will say, like, you're doing this basically. You're not going to be able to like move off of this rooftop before the next turn, kind of as you plant the evidence here.
Gotcha.
Got it. Cool. Yeah, I think that's everybody in the round. So, time continues to tick. The clock continues to tick. Have established so now the helicopters are zeroing in spotlights on the rooftops, looking for these bogeys, these perpetrators. Here in the meanwhile, camera over to the car. Yep. So, oh, sorry, I thought you said something. Okay, camera pans over to the car, and of course, Pixie at the wheel. Patch also there, and sort of a little bit of time passes. You do see the governor's car emerge from the smoke behind you, and yeah, they are behind you, at least for the moment, going along with this story of clearing the way. Eventually it comes to a point where you need to make a turn to go towards your secondary vehicle. What do you do?
I'll take it.
Okay.
I'll turn as normal.
Hey, Pixie.
Yeah.
Guess who has one more smoke grenade left?
Oh, yeah? Let's do it.
You got it.
Hell yes. Okay. Oh, there it is. I knew it was in here somewhere. Sorry, that soundboard. It's got some, protest and riot squad sounds. Well, in any case, we'll just imagine that those were there in the first place. Very good. So, starting the shouts here, you take this turn going towards the secondary vehicle, and the governor's car does follow. Seeing it seems to have been conveyed over the radio that you are helping clear the way, so they are following the path. So Patch, you throw this smoke grenade out of the window?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'm not going to call for a roll here because it would be very weird and uninteresting if you, like, it slipped out of your hand and it exploded inside of the car. Like, that's... It's not that kind of heist.
Oh, no!
Oh, no! I will say sort of in combination.
Can I make a amendment to this?
Mm-hmm.
Can we throw the smoke bomb as we're going to make the turn, but I make it look like we're going the opposite way? We throw the smoke bomb and then we turn the actual way that I want to go.
Yes, absolutely. I was about to ask, did you want to try and lose this car? Fantastic. Yeah. Then yes, go ahead and make a land vehicle check for me. Or drive check. Yep. $25 off of the 3. You know, that's the Nomad's bread and butter. So there you go. With a 25, yes, this was a somewhat more difficult thing to pull off. There's you're kind of in these narrow alleyways. There is smoke to go through, but you remember doing stunts like this for fun when you were learning to drive. So you full on like competitions between you and some of your other nomads and siblings of like in a race and trying to, throw each other off. So you make as if you are going left, and then you peel right there in the smoke.
Oh, can't hear you, Jonathan.
Sorry.
That's better.
Must have, yeah. I don't know how I keep accidentally hitting the mute button. You hear a squeal of tires, but you don't hear a like crash. It seems like they are certainly thrown by your smoke trap, smoke grenade, but yes, they don't crash, but you have ditched them. With a 25, you sure did. But that is... you hear another...
Unit 214, explain yourself.
We're under attack. We're
Roger.
using evasive measures.
Roger, reinforcements incoming.
And with that...
I'm gonna unplug my radio.
Okay.
That'll show him.
I'm gonna say... I know you threw the grenade here, but Patch, go ahead and make a perception check for me. Pixie, you're busy driving.
Yeah.
And lying.
Yeah.
17.
17. Pretty good. You notice, like, it's faint, but there, sort of in the console, you hear a little bit like little blip, like beeping, almost like a radar blip, blip, there in the console of this vehicle. Camera pan over. We're back on the rooftops. The spotlight is swinging in here. What do the two of you do now? Bow and opera.
I guess I'll do kind of what I'll finish doing whatever I was doing to help with that thing, and then just we gotta let's head. I would just basically use all of our movement to stealthily get to the next floor down.
Okay. Then yes, I would like a... Let's get a stealth check from both of you, please. Not bad. Also, pretty damn good.
Not bad, Bo. You could almost keep up.
Oh.
So much more elegant than the usual dancing you show off. It's a neon garden.
Somebody decided to put on their sassy pants today, I see.
Those are the only pants I own.
True, I know. Ugh.
And let's see if those sassy brand... That's another natural one for our pursuers. Well then.
You now have the curse of the spider bot.
Yep. The curse never goes away. It just moves. It started with Jather, then it fell to y'all during the spider bots, and now it is back on the baddies. Excellent. So with that, the spotlight is on the opposite side of the square, sweeping those rooftops as you sneak over and like the rooftop access door, you're able to slip inside. No problem. What do you do about the guard's body?
I mean, I painted the gain said symbol on him, and I'm just gonna leave him there.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
My fun.
Yeah. Oh, and actually, before you go, since there was talk of it, Opera, did you want to do anything with that spotlight now that it is usable?
I mean, is the plan to blind our pursuers OBE now that Pixie has convinced them that she's leaving them on red?
Your call.
I think we'll just gun it.
Cool. Great. So now with that stealth, you head downstairs. I will say, to keep things clipping, you go down at least partway through the building, and if your intention is to spill with stealth checks like that, you're also able to move somewhat quickly. If your intention is to spread all the papers and flyers and whatnot, through one of these windows, that is doable for sure.
Yeah, it's just like, you know, given how big the square is, I was envisioning maybe like 20 or 30, like enough that like, and
That's
they're
my
just
canvassing.
I envision like literally what looks like almost like a large bookmark size piece of paper with just like the, you know, I'm thinking like, it probably looks something like an anarchy symbol or something, whatever the game set symbol is.
It probably is,
like
yeah.
Single color, like someone just made a stamp and stamped it on a bunch of pieces of paper, which is, you know, because they don't use technology.
I was going to say, yeah, like mini flashback to rigging up all of that. It was difficult to track down like a tried and true actual like printing press versus the more modern technology, like something that was archaic enough that would be
I'm
feasibly
envisioning like
gainsaid.
carving it into a bar of soap and then using ink to like, you know, stamp it onto a sheet of paper.
Oh, just straight on stamping. Yeah, that makes sense to me. And sure, we can. It is easy enough to make that canon that this is something, if not something they regularly did, something they have done before.
Just so that it shows that it wasn't, no technology was used to create it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Straight up ink on paper.
Quickly on our way out of the building, you know, chuck a few out of the window, and then the other few I might just like chuck them out somewhere else, just so that there's, again, just to plant the breadcrumbs. That's all. I'm not trying to like make them super visible because I don't want them to see them coming out of a building necessarily.
Okay, that was. Mm-hmm.
So just handfuls here and there, so that they'll find them later, basically. But yeah, otherwise, we just need to get out. We've gotten the family out. We just need to get ourselves out.
Yes. So yeah, now we are, I think, with that round, I believe, is over. And again, unless complications occur, I think we are sort of in now the getaway turn. If you all are able to successfully make your exit, then this heist is likely a success, which means we've got climax music, which is also a perfect time for iTunes to freeze. Thank you for that. There we go.
Of course.
So, what we see, Pixie and Patch in the car with the family. You have shaken your unofficial escort, but now you see, after a few blocks driving towards the secondary vehicle, in your mirrors, you see, oh, I've got one. You hear plenty of like security force vehicles driving every which way, but then there is this. Yeah, one of those hovercopters is now kind of floating in behind you, above you, as this backup, this reinforcements here to take on whatever you're being attacked by, at least is what you said over the radio. So yeah, that is what you see. For Bo and Opera, as you leave this building, there is absolute chaos in the streets around you. Some of the riot squads have deployed. You hear some shots here and there, plenty of Molotov cocktails, people fighting, these protesters fighting back, as you had rabble roused as part of your plan and have amplified the dissent response here to all of this chaos. So for you two, you have successfully at least avoided notice from the rooftop, but there is still the question of, you see that these riot squad people are like starting to, as they can, arrest some of these protesters. So your exit is going to be that. getting away and not being arrested, noticed, etc. Very good. Cool. So, who would like to kick things off? What do you do?
Are the protesters? They're not like. Is it clear whether the protesters are like Gainstead type people, or are they just like people that are protesting the execution, or like? I guess my worry is like I don't want anyone.
You have no reason to believe that these are Gainstead.
We do.
You do not. You have no reason to believe that these are Gainstead. This feels like the natural descent that is already built in the city, plus a little extra mustard from what y'all were able to rouse. Okay. The rabble that you were able to rouse. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
In fact, yeah. Come to think, like in this moment, you have brief insight. It's like, actually, I haven't like heard anything, any kind of hide or hair from the Gainstead since the incident with Jather.
Okay, Bo just makes a note of that. Feels really bad about that. And yeah, just before we can help anybody else, we got to get ourselves out. So I'll just keep using movement and disguise skills or whatever to keep us hidden. And maybe if I can use what is it? What's the skill? Sorry, one second. That's street slang. Local expert. Could I have maybe scoped out some of like using my connection with locals, expert local, like the street gangs, I don't know, like whatever, to kind of scope out the best escape route from the building to Neon Garden area?
Yeah, for sure. That makes sense to me. Like local expert as a, these streets pretty well, but with all the chaos, being able to make those split-second decisions to get you all out of here quickly and cleanly, that makes sense to me. I will. Yeah, go ahead and make that roll.
I'm gonna pop. Let's do. To safely get us out, I'm gonna use I'm gonna pump all 3 of my luck points in there.
Okay. Ooh, baby, that is a crit.
Yay!
All right, with a 24. Thankfully, even like going to that alley, seeing that there are some more riot forces or like other chaos, like people being arrested, things you want to avoid. Thankfully, with a 24, you are able to navigate these streets very well, making these split-second decisions to get yourselves out of there. I think then, so you're able to pivot well. As far as like kind of remaining unnoticed, I think that's the other factor here. Unnoticed, or at least less noticed than the active protesters. So Opera, if you've got anything along those lines, either some stealth check help here, or some kind of distraction, something to help cover your escape.
Opera is actually fairly stealthy, so he might be able to help other folks who didn't invest in their beautiful lithe forms. Okay. So if possible, I can contribute some stealthitude.
Perfect. I'd say, Bo's leading the way. You are keeping both of you on track, keeping to the shadows. Hopefully, go ahead and roll stealth.
I'll go ahead and put some luck into this as well. Put some mustard on this.
20.
Glad I put some luck on it. You got nothing.
Yeah. Not enough to beat a 20.
Would it have been enough to beat a 17?
Well, where's their perception? I just saw it. Who's to say? In any case, you, because yeah, the aim here is not to be invisible. It's more just like to avoid notice more than the other people. In that, you are successful. So as thankfully as you see more, it's like just kind of like as you like breach that perimeter, get more away from the action, you see more of these security force vehicles like closing in as reinforcements, establishing this perimeter, trying to get everything under control. You two are able to slip past that barricade's not the word I'm looking for. What's it when like ships create, like water ships create a blockade?
A blockade.
Thank you. Yes, blockade that is like quickly forming and descending. You're able to slip past that blockade and make it out. Which brings us to Pixie and Patch here in vehicle. This thing is this hovercraft is on your tail. You see the spotlight sweeping, has clocked your vehicle, seems to be looking around for these so-called threats that you mentioned on the radio. And you said you ripped out you unplugged, ripped out the radio, so no more communication there. What do you do?
Is that? Oh,
Go ahead.
I just had a question. Is that beeping thing that you pointed out before? Does that have anything to do with what's going on? Like
That was my question.
Mm-hmm. So thanks to your perception, you point that out. It seems as an official vehicle, this does have a tracking device to it.
Would Pixie have known that though? Ahead of time.
I think you probably make a maybe a perfunctory, but go ahead and roll a land vehicle tech, not the driving, but the tech roll there. If I'm thinking of the correct skill.
oh,
Yeah, land vehicle tech. That is a roll. I was correct. 26. Yeah. So this is a moment where, yes, with a roll like that, that is something that you would have known beforehand. So you probably have some kind of answer to it.
Could I have removed it before?
I'm going to say I'm not going to retcon that hard because if the official vehicle's tracking went offline much earlier, that would have aroused a lot of suspicion.
Okay.
So I'd say it's up to you what form that takes, but you have some kind of answer here.
Would I know how to hack it to make it give a different reading?
Yeah, I'm gonna roll over this 26 here. You are like decent with tech, obviously not as good as Opera. No one's as good as Opera. With tech, but with vehicle tech, you've got the edge. You have, with your smuggling operations, you've dealt with futzing with location and tracking tech in vehicles before. Yes. So I will say you're able to scramble the signal so that they cannot track you via this device. There is still a flying thing that has eyes on you, but at least they cannot. They can't track this vehicle directly. Patch, what do you do?
I mean, there's really not much else I can do at the moment. Yeah, I mean, I am literally just along for the ride, I think. There's nothing I can do to lose the people we have behind us.
Okay.
I'm out of smoke grenades.
out of smoke grenades. You have other grenades. But yeah, if there needs to be probably some kind of answer to this hovercopter question than before. Okay.
How far up is it?
It's It's a decent number of stories ahead because y'all are like driving through somewhat narrow street, so it's got to be above the roof line. It's got to be above the rooftop line. You're on the ground line, and it's hanging back behind you a little bit. But yeah, so I'd say you've got like 10 stories, pretty crowded place. Yeah, like about 100 feet in the air.
Oh,
That's
okay, yeah, there's
100
nothing I
feet.
can do that far.
That feels bad. Here's what I will give you. This might be a little heavy-handed DM, but here's a question I'll ask you. If it were closer, what would you do?
I mean, like you said, I do have other grenades. The only other one that would be moderately useful is a flashbang, but I'd have to really throw it, like, well, which probably... Well, I won't go that far, but...
What does our route look like? Like, what are we dealing with? Do we have tunnels? Do we have overpasses, underpasses?
You certainly can. If you like, yeah, I would say.
Would Pixie know of like secret?
I'm trying to think. Yeah, like nomad sort of. Yeah. Go ahead and give me a local. We kind of had this for Bo here a moment ago. Go ahead and make a local expert check for me here, Pixie.
I'm gonna spend a couple more luck.
I would say either Pixie or Patch in this scenario.
How's your local expert, Patch?
Local expert is out of character. It's level 2, so
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
So your total plus is 2?
Mine, yes.
Okay.
Then we're the same, so it doesn't really matter.
Okay. What I will say is you've got a van full of nomads here behind you. Go ahead and roll it with advantage.
There you go.
They don't just have to be sitting ducks. Yeah.
True.
Okay.
That first one was with 2 luck points.
Yep, so bump that up by 3. That is an 18. Yeah, I would say with an 18, you're able to... Okay, here's what I'll give you. With an 18 on local expert, you might be able to lose this hover... You might be able to lose this hovercopter. Gives you a chance. Patch, if you want to chuck that flashbang, that combination, if successful, will seal the deal.
Yeah,
Sorry to make you burn like
shot.
all of your grenades, but like they have been coming in clutch. That's what they're there for.
That's why she bought them.
Yep. Okay.
Go big or go home.
Right? If
Okay.
we're gonna go out, we're going out in style.
Yeah.
Let's go. Okay. So, I will say that with that successful local expert, I'll say you're able to like pilot like towards sort of like a tunnel underpass, a way to lose them, but also in the meantime swerving through a bit more, slightly more open area, or at least like the buildings are a little bit wider, so the copter now is clearly a little bit suspicious. They haven't been able to hail you on radio, nor do they see any other threats. They're coming in closer, and you start hearing kind of over the speaker, not your car radio, but like the megaphone speaker.
Pull over your vehicle to the side of the road.
So they're a little bit closer. So, Batch, now might be that good time as any. Go ahead and roll an athletics check, please.
I got no luck left. Here we go. Oh, of course it would crit fail. Of course it would.
Oof.
Do we run into a tree?
No, you don't. What does happen is you throw this flashbang, but it, as you're like trying to swerve and like lose this thing, it managed to, just some bad luck, it banks off of like the side of this like time it just right / wrong, banks off of a street light, this like overhanging street lamp that stinks off and poof, flashes, dazzles you. Actually, it's been doing narrative, but now that it's affecting YouTube, I'll give you a chance. I believe that's resist drugs / torture for the flashbang. Let me double check that. Actually, if you've still got it in your do you still have it in your inventory, Patch?
Have what?
The flashbang.
Yes.
Fantastic. This is a much easier way to look it up.
Okay. DV15 resist
DV15 resist
torture
torture drugs. Okay, I was correct. Fail, damaged eye and damaged ear, critical injuries for 1 minute. No crit damage. Both of you, Pixie and Patch, go ahead and roll me a resist torture drugs check.
Nope. I'm just gonna stick with the smoke grenades.
Very.
Oh wow. Nice.
Yeah, Pixie, for you, thankfully, your eyes are like on the road ahead of you, on the path, rather than checking your mirrors at this exact moment. You see this flash from your side and rear view mirror, but since your focus is not on them, you've just got those like spots dangling, your ears are ringing, but you're able to keep on the path. Patch here. Let's go ahead and I will address that in a second. You're going to have to maybe patch yourself up later. Fix these ears and things. Okay. So I would say, yeah, for now you're going to have a little bit of trouble helping. This is copter. I did say they're falling pretty close. I will give them a roll. Rather than if it had been your grenade had been successful, it would have been automatic. But I'm going to give them a roll, see what happens. 7. They need a +8 to resist drugs and torture. At least with the Mook stats that I've been using, they do not have that. So it's by the skin of your teeth, but you manage to, in this brief moment, disrupt the vision of this pilot. And Pixie, you're able to take that necessary turn that you are able to ditch this hovercopter. You finish your route. You make it to the secondary vehicle. You see the other nomad family there waiting to take them in. And the family, seeing... They certainly recognize this other nomad family, so you get some like hurried thanks. They understand that the situation is a bit dire, so they can't linger too much. But as they start piling out of the vehicle, they like offer you some thanks and start to go into the secondary one. Minna lingers a little bit and gives you a sly look. Now, if you're who I think you are, I've never been prouder of you, honey. He puts a hand on your shoulder. Let's talk soon. All right?
That's good.
And flashes a smile. Ooh. Minna then boards the vehicle as well. They drive away. All four of you have made clean getaways, and you, just as you start walking / driving, or maybe also walking, up to you, Pixie and Patch, whether you ditch the vehicle. At this point, there is... actually, I'll ask. Do you ditch the vehicle and walk?
Yes.
Okay. Probably for the best.
I mean, Patch may need to lean on Pixie for a minute, but
Oh, yes.
You good, Patch?
Yeah.
where are you?
Yeah, Patch, you are just like a little bit confused as all the tactile nature of like people trying to thank you while you are largely blind and deaf is a bit disorienting. But I would
Opera
say
is lurking in the background with 2 bionic eyes.
just saying. I would say probably at least a couple of these people as well got a little bit dazzled, so they understand. Before you're able to regroup, so like really just about like the time that you're in the clear, you start making your way back to the Neon Garden. And then you see first this flash of light, and almost instantly following, you look and feel and hear this rumble along with this massive explosion. You look over and you see the security force tower, the largest, most prominent, most secure building in Echo Center, engulfed in flame and smoke, tipping over and crashing to the ground. And that is where we are going to end our heist. Excellent work.
We all lived.
Everybody. You all lived, and honestly, I tried to throw some curveballs at you here and there, but all in all, one failed flashbang roll where the driver at least was able to keep her eyes on the road. Like, that was pretty clean. Not gonna lie. Y'all did super well, crushed it. Love to see it. The Margot family has pulled a vanishing act. We'll see if anyone believes Kent, since he has now been taken in as a suspect. We will see what comes of that.
I kind of hope they would just like shoot first, ask questions later, but you know,
We'll see.
see what happens.
We'll see how that all shakes out. Maybe
Poor
they did.
cat.
Maybe they did.
First day
know.
of his internship, unpaid. Just gets
Right?
can't find good interns these days.
You really can't. Cool. So it is on the later side, a little bit longer, but kind of anticipated that with the big heist. Did it, pulled it off. Fantastic. So I'm going to do real quick, do our attributions, credits, sponsorships. We'll do a quick round of Stars and Roses, and then we will sign off for the night. So first off, real quick, I accidentally closed the tab before, but that's fine. For Church Guidelines, looking for, of course, our sponsor. So our sponsor, of course, as always for the Quelmar realm is, oh dear. Well,
It's oh dear now?
apologies for that. That's new. Okay, so currently our inner website hub is down. I cannot reach the,
no.
see, and this is where I should be actually downloading these offline. I thought about it. Should have kept with it. As far as, did I actually pull it? I thought I did. Nope. Well, apologies. Some apologies to our sponsor, Arkenforge, virtual tabletop Arkenforge. Normally, I have the actual ad copy here in front of me. That is not accessible to me at this moment. I apologize there. But overall, it is a fantastic toolkit. Fantastic toolkit for game masters of any game system. It able to build your maps, able to, yes, address any and all things that come your way with virtual tabletop. Great assets built in. You have seen it in action in Quelmar campaigns past with the Beggar's Bodega, as well as the spiritual predecessor to this campaign, the Paranoia campaign Get submodule. So yes, please go check it out. You can get believe that
$5 off with the
yes,
code,
the
the
$5 code, which I'm trying to remember the code is I want to say it is Quelmar Forge. I believe
it's the Quelmar Forge.
the Quelmar Forge. Thank you. I can dig that up to confirm here in a moment when people
I
are
just
sharing.
Googled it. It's on your Twitter.
It is perfect. Okay, so yes, the Quelmar Forge. Get $5 off your very own copy of Arkenforge. Particularly handy for hybrid play in person, where if you're running a TV, need a TV for your players in person, get those fancy maps there, and want a DM view for you and a player front-facing view in the other end. They've got built-in technology for that. It's great. So that, of course, is our sponsor. Attribution. This week, the voice mods were from VoiceMod, as usual. The overlays, combination of myself and Jeff Buterbaugh, one of our resident graphic designers. And the sound pad was from Tabletop Audio, and all the music. So all the music I picked out for tonight is the return of Incompetech, aka Kevin MacLeod, has a huge library of royalty-free music as long as you credit him. It is truly a fantastic resource. I don't know Kevin MacLeod personally, but if you ever see or hear this, you're a champion. Thank you for that. Specifically, the tracks used were Industrial Cinematic in order. Industrial Cinematic, Decisions, I Can Feel It Coming, Prelude in Action, The Lift, and Mistake the Getaway. Those are all, yep, you can find those on his website. If you just Google Incompetech or Kevin MacLeod, you'll find all of that music and more. Have used music on this show before. It's just really solid stuff, especially for Twitch, when it needs to be all royalty-free. Even if it weren't, I would use it anyway. And lastly, the maps. The few maps that we saw, those are all... I can actually bring us over temporarily as I pan over to the watermark in the corner. Yes, all the maps that you saw today are part of Solution Maps. They have a Patreon. They have a bunch of specifically Cyberpunk, Future City, a little bit of sort of Mad Max post-apocalyptic. It's also that vibe. Ton of maps. He's got a bunch for free, as we've seen here, but also this Patreon that I'm sure has a lot of rad maps. They're locked behind that reasonable paywall there. They've got really, really great maps. I have not seen a stinker among them, so go and check that out. And for the viewers who may have spectacular memories, if this is sort of ringing a bell for you, Solution Maps, this is also the person who was responsible for the elevator map, that moving elevator map video that we saw in the very first session of Cyberpunk. They're also responsible for that. So they make good stuff. Go check them out. And yes, and last couple bits is for here in just very soon, very couple of weeks. Second weekend in June is Quelmar Con. Quelmar Con is going to be in Maryland, about 45 minutes outside of DC. It's a bunch of us nerds getting together to play games and hang out and build our community together, which is what we're all about. So come check us out. You can find where it is. So you can find all stuff Quelmar at quelmar.world, our website. Oh, now the chat function works. Right. I'll take it. So quelmar.world, and that's also where you find our Discord, which is our main means of communication. Quelmarcon.com. I will also throw this one in there. And then finally, the weekend directly afterward, if you're thinking, I've just had not enough friends in nerdery yet, the direct weekend afterward here in DC, QuelmarCon is going to be, or QuelmarCon, excuse me, the Quelmar Realm is going to have a booth at AwesomeCon. Big convention here in DC, going to have lots of thousands of people, big guests, trio from The Lord of the Rings. You got Shauna Astin, Elijah Wood, and I forget his name, Andy Serkis.
Billy Boyd or Andy Serkis.
Andy Serkis. Oh, I also wish it was Billy Boyd. That would be, I haven't seen him at a convention, but they're amongst with a whole bunch of other guests. It's going to be a big deal, so come check it out. They also, as a nonprofit, they donated our booth to us. That is a 4-figure value that they donated to us for us to use. So AwesomeCon is great, living up to the name. Come say hi to us and check out the con. Sorry, that was the wrong button. Just going over the map. Yep, so that is all I have for plugs. So that's all I have for attributions and then plugs. Any other plugs here? Raise your hand if you've got a plug. Plugging anything at all.
Come see Something Rotten in Bowie, Maryland. Second Star Productions. We have 4 more weekends.
Yes, exactly. If you're in the DMV area, come check out Something Rotten at Second Star Productions. Dancing Omelet. And
many other things.
Yeah,
mostly,
Dancing Omelet.
I'm a tap dancing egg.
I was gonna say tap dancing egg, tap dancing
Egg
Shakespeare.
who later becomes an omelet. It's a real character arc, you know.
It's a journey, yes. So we can see that journey cook. Come check it out. Yes, I was looking at Angela for a moment, but yes, System Agnostic has concluded. It has concluded. Of course. But still remember to check out our other Quelmar shows like Once Upon a Town and First Class. And yeah, we've got a bunch of campaigns coming up you can check out. If you want to get involved in one, well, come check out our Discord. If you join our Discord, you can get yourself involved in the game as well, or maybe run one, start one. We are always looking for more games run. So if you're more on the GM side, by all means, come and play. In fact, earlier, could not attend because of this stream, obviously, but just tonight we had a Blood on the Clock Tower game that was that a bunch of people were in. I was able to catch other ones. Never played before. It's great. Think Mafia, but more complicated, but more fun. It is truly wild. It's a really, really, really cool system, but I'm not going to take forever to talk about that. Yes, that's all our plugs. So yeah, check out other shows either here on Twitch or on YouTube, the VODs. The System Agnostic VODs are also on YouTube in addition to these. So if you miss something, that is okay. You can come back and watch us as we put up those VODs. So then last thing is going to be Stars and Roses. Or Roses and Stars, I suppose, in that order. So Rose is going to be shout out to someone else here at the table, as it were. Shout out something cool at the table. It's like, that was really cool, that thing that you did, or I appreciate it, I thought that was funny, etc. Just lifting up your fellow party members. And the star is something that you are looking forward to or would like to see in the future or like to see more of, that sort of thing. If someone would volunteer going first, otherwise I'm gonna go around the circle here. Yes, I see Angela's got a hand. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, my God, roses all around. I mean, we're talking, we had great driving, punching a pilot in the face repeatedly, and then Bo just setting up like everything in advance with the pyrotechnics. And shoving the radio down the guy's throat. As a throwback to an earlier time. But yeah, that was amazing, guys. That was such a great heist. So yeah, roses for everybody. And
yeah, how was it for your first heist?
That's right.
My God,
mm-hmm.
That was it was awesome. That's all I gotta say. Like, I was expecting everything to go wrong at every turn, and then it didn't. And then I was just really, really glad I bought all of those grenades at the beginning.
Yep. Love to have that shopping week and a half to prepare. Yep.
But yeah, so I mean, roses for everybody, especially Jonathan, because my God, that was not easy at all.
Thank you.
And stars, I guess, just... Oh gosh. how do you follow a heist? But yeah, she's still wondering what the fuck is going on with her brother, so...
Okay. Yeah, that's a great star of what's the deal with Scratch? Okay. Great. Next volunteer, otherwise I'm gonna... Or how about, let's go like this. Angela, if you would please popcorn to somebody else.
Lee?
Perfect.
Okay. I will say, I don't know if this is exactly my like rose or not, but I'll just say thanks for letting me use my super beefy personal grooming skills. I have, for reference, so for anybody who doesn't know, fixers have their tour de force skills are personal grooming and fashion. So those don't come up a lot in combat, as you might expect. So I've never used them. And I have like a +16 in those.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I very much appreciate it. Hopefully that's part of maybe one of my stars too, is I look forward to finding more creative and story relevant ways to utilize those skills. Cause like, surely the creators of the game were like, fixers, do your thing. And I'm like, I don't fully understand what that means.
Yeah.
I'm going to work on it. But yeah, so I appreciate that. And and shout out to Pixie for the line about like clearing the way for the governor was very quick thinking. That was awesome. Very, very nice. And yeah, and nice maps, nice, those are I mentioned that during the break. I thought they're very pretty. It's very good stuff. Good all round.
Sounds good. And star.
Oh, that was just that I'm looking forward to more creative ways to use.
Just perfect.
That was kind of my star for the.
Yep, that absolutely works. Yeah, it's sort of it's like style and aesthetics are very much part of the culture of this game, especially when it's set in its original setting of Night City. I am still learning this game too, and learning it's like, oh yeah, there are skills like that I can call for. As always, this goes for everybody. If you can make a solid argument for one of your skills for a scenario, you can pitch that, and I might agree, depending.
Well, it's for a game that's about like, escapism and like or not escapism, but like, your idea of your character. It's how do you balance the idea of your character is like, I can say my character's really cool.
Yep.
And we want that because we're playing a fantasy game and we want our characters to be cool. But in a mechanical standpoint, how can a character be cool but also fail at cool?
No.
Like where are the stakes there? So I got to figure that out.
I think, yeah, if say, well,
fashion feels like such a low stakes thing compared to judo,
Fair enough.
That's where we're at, but no.
Yeah, I've got some hypotheticals up here, but yeah, just for the sake of time here, since we're on the later side. But yes, trust me, I'm like trying to keep stuff like that cognizant in mind. And I've got
You're doing a great job. That's really like a me too. I need to learn more about fixers and how to play them better. Yeah,
I can think of some scenarios where that would come into play. All right, popcorn, please.
Oh yes. Only thinking character names, Pixie.
Perfect. Yep.
I have 2 roses. One is for Angela /Patch. For using all of your basically your whole inventory of grenades.
So good. Go gadget.
I'm just really glad I threw the flashbang and failed on that and not the sleeve grenade.
Yeah, that would have been a little bit wilder. Yeah.
And then my second one is for Lee, because you took great notes of our whole plan, and because that was like a month and a half ago that we made that plan, and so I didn't remember half of it, but the note takers are the real heroes. So
genuinely helpful. Yes, thank you. And yes, Ashley is another game that I play, and usually Ashley is the note taker that I at least look to like I do take notes, but like comprehensive notes. Sometimes be like, I didn't write that down. Ashley, did you write that? So yes, we love the good note takers, no matter what game we're in.
And then I'm looking forward to pulling on some of the threads we have lingering, like with Comet and with Scratch. I want to dig into those a little more.
Okay. All right, and then I would popcorn over to the last player.
Matthew.
That other guy, I guess. Don't know.
Yeah, I would give my rose to Pixie because this has been partially the Pixie arc, which has been really exciting because it has been really nice to see how the kind of the structure of the story has been around the various backstories. Like, I know my backstory wasn't especially well thought out, and I've been kind of elaborating on it every time Jonathan asks me for more detail. So it's kind of nice to see that that's actually turning into something. Like, those choices, even if they sound like jokes, have real consequences. And it's been really cool seeing how Pixie's, family of nomad magicians just rolled downhill into chasing the governor out of town and then 9/11ing Echo Center.
Oh boy.
I mean, yeah,
I
that
didn't
is
make the big, tall, ominous tower of policemen blow up and fall over. That was Jonathan.
It's true. So that is, definitely a big dangling thread of what the hell was that?
Yeah, and that's my star. Is I want to know what the hell that was. I want to know what.
Good cliffhanger. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, and that explosion is going to kick off a number of things. It is something that I have said out loud, I think, on stream and to my players, is that however the heist turns out is going to kick off Act 3, and the figurative and literal fallout from what the end there, the explosion, is going to the shit is sitting there on the table, and the hand is on the fan switch, ready to go. Awesome. Cool. I'll say Rose and Stars. Yeah. I'll just say Rose first for everybody as well. I know it arguably a cop-out, but yeah, y'all all did very well. You showed off your specialties, your strengths well. You all contributed to this plan quite well, and rolled with the punches of not only the potential complications, most of which you handled with aplomb along the way, but also this sort of scenario. This is not necessarily what Cyberpunk RED, the system, is built for, but yeah, y'all crushed it in every sense. Loved it. And Star, also going to piggyback here in that, look forward to what Act 3 will bring, and not only what I throw at you, but what you're able to bat right back. Cool. That's all the things. Love to see it. Go check out the other Quelmar things. Already said that, but there's only one last thing to do here. Oh, I suppose, in all the kerfuffle of the heist, I almost forgot. Yeah, our robotic companion was mostly quiet tonight, but this was y'all's show, so I think it's probably for the best. He had his tally-ho line. In any case, yes, as Coffee Vampire, wonder who that is. That's just done. One last thing to do. You know it. You love that. Sign off. Ready. 3, 2, 1.
Keep rolling the dice. Ha ha! Take that, you lousy
Good night, everybody.